Yeah, welcome back. Nice to see everybody. Good to be here. Nice to be on this side of the earth. You never know. That's the thing, right? You never know. Today could be the last day of your life, my life, so let's enjoy it. We've got a big show, heavy sports. Cliff Myers is going to be by. We've got some Will Smith, Jada news, but more importantly, he's back, my favorite sportscaster and yours. Please welcome the legendary Rod Black, ladies and gentlemen.
Boys, how are you?
With
There
Wi-Fi.
you go.
With Wi-Fi this time.
Hey.
Yeah, don't do that. Then we're going to freak out. Don't
Oh,
do
there
that.
we go. It's okay. Take my name out of your mouth. Anyway.
Yeah.
And Lachlan, nice CDs.
Yeah, I know. I get made fun of a lot. I don't know what to do with them. I did get the green light from my wife to buy a record player. So, but she did say you got to get rid of the.
So you're
the
going
CD
backwards.
wall.
You're even actually going more backwards.
Right?
Did you get a Walkman too?
Sony? The
I
old
actually
Sony
have
Walkman?
one of those old yellow Sony Walkmans.
Dude,
Still works.
I have the same thing. Mine are in a garbage bag somewhere. I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to give them to the Horseshoe Tavern, and they can use them as coasters.
Send them to me.
Yeah,
send them to me.
Same thing with movie. Remember, like I collected all these movie discs.
Yes,
laser all because you put it in the disc. Have you talked to your kids lately, or any young kids lately, and said they have no idea what a DVD is?
No.
Yeah.
Now you know you're old.
Dude, last night I'm on the way back from driving my kid home from school, and he's like, "Do you remember VHS tapes?" Yeah. And I'm like,
"How
"Yeah."
about 8-tracks?
Do you remember 8-tracks? I had a Meatloaf 8-track that my dad gave me. And he's like, "Hey, this is a great album." I'm like, "What do we play it on?" He's like, "Nothing anymore. There's these new things called compact discs that are coming out. You can't use them." Tapes, remember tapes? We used to have.
I had
like you rewind tapes. You record.
Remember,
tapes.
you took the pencil and you think that the tape came out and you pulled it all the way through.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
When you didn't like the artist anymore, you put the tape over the top so you could record over that. Yeah.
I still have about 300 hours of air checks on cassette tape. I don't even know how to get it off.
Oh, you got to digitize that.
I know. It's another one of those projects, like getting rid of the CD wall.
It's a nice shrine, though. I think it's a nice. I just think you're hiding a stash back there. That's all it is.
Oh, for sure.
It's a secret wall. Yeah.
Okay?
I'm a little younger than you guys, so my kid got really shocked. What?
Fuck you for calling us old.
I'm the whippersnapper of this group.
Much younger.
When I told my kid that Netflix used to come in the mail, she thought I was on drugs.
Yeah,
she
did.
What the hell are you talking about? How is that even possible? How do you get the internet in the mail?
Netflix. You'd call Netflix and you'd be like, "Hey, can you send me a few movies?" They're like, "Yeah, dude." Before they went to streaming service,
I did not. No, I obviously don't live in.
It was a movie subscription service. That's actually how they got going.
Yeah.
So they were kind of doing the what was the 11 cassettes for a penny thing.
Oh, Columbia
House.
House.
Like Columbia House.
Yeah.
But
gosh, that's how all those discs back there. I guarantee you were a Columbia House member. Remember, there'd be like 20 that would arrive every month, and one was good.
Yeah.
One was good.
Yeah.
And you paid triple for that one, but they sent you like 10 other shitty ones just for fun, right? Remember that?
And every single one of us charged our parents' credit card.
Yep. And how many people were tens of thousands of dollars in collections after years of that?
Totally.
And you couldn't cancel. You went to try and cancel. They're like, we lost
it's like
your
getting
file.
rid of a gym membership.
Yeah, the collection agency calls and they bug you all day long. Sir, you owe $32.98, and we are going to take you to court. Yeah.
Or come
get your truck.
Yeah, come get all of the Lachlan CDs. Anyway, Blackie's back. Before we get started, we got a ton of stuff to get to. At Rod Black TV is where you can find him. I want to talk Blue Jays. We got opening day today against the Rangers, which is incredible. Simeon's back in town. I am a fucking wagon for this team. I cannot wait to see what they do this year. We're going to talk Raptors. Obviously, that's your wheelhouse. I was going to try and get in some Olympic figure skating, decided not to. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Matthews versus McDavid and the night Matthews had 56 on the evening. So I know you tweeted about it, but I want to ask you about this first. We talked about your son, Ty, who's a wonderful young man. And you sent me a clip. I want you to kind of take us through this clip real quick that we're going to play. Cause you were at spring training with him last week, right? He got drafted by the Brewers.
Yeah. So we went to spring training and we went to all the minor league games. The A ball team or the double A ball team, they play whoever the Brewers are playing, they play against the affiliate that day. And usually it's in the backfield, they call it. And there's a few people, usually family members. But then the players also, from time to time, will get called up, the minor league players. And it's a thrill. I know for Ty, it was. And he got called up a couple of times. And every time he got called up, we weren't there. We left. So we never got a chance to see him live. That's kind of my life. But I think I missed this night, but somebody sent this to me. And of course, if you know Bob Uecker, you know the movie Major League, and you know just Bob Uecker's legendary announcer period, and a great comedian. I used to do a lot of speaking engagements, host things with Bob Uecker. It goes way back, and I think he's 88 now. And just to set it up, Ty got to the plate. He was pinch hitting for Lorenzo Cain, came into the game around the 6th inning, and hitting in front of Christian Yelich as well. So that had to be a pretty big thrill. You could tell that he's one of the minor leaguers. He's wearing number 94. But I'll let you play it, and you called it. So I think it's pretty special. He'll have that forever.
Oh, man, this is incredible. This is Tyler Blackrod's son taking a hack, and what a hack it was. Bob Uecker on the call, hitting in front of Christian Yelich. Watch this.
And here is Ty Black. Samson deals line.
There we go.
This one may get in there. It is.
There we go.
Right? Drives one home.
Going to score on what will be a double for Ty Black.
Beautiful. Nice.
All right. Pinch runner winds up at third.
Here it is.
He's got to get his helmet fixed, though. It's a little big. Just
I'll leave him.
He's
alone.
using his dad's because I got a big head.
Black, here's Christian Yelich.
Listen to
That's
that.
pretty cool. That's
Yeah,
pretty
dude.
cool.
I mean, there's Christian Yelich and Bob Uecker on the call. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
so cool.
how? I texted him. I'm like, dude, that's your whole life coming together in like 60 seconds, right?
Yeah. Well, again, it's a long journey. So, like he's starting. It was supposed to be today, but he's in Wisconsin with the Timber Rattlers. I'd never heard of a Timber Rattler. I guess it's a snake. So it's high A ball. He wants to get to Biloxi and Double A. They got the best names in minor league baseball. That's the goal. You want to climb the ladder. You go to Double A, which is the Biloxi Shuckers.
You got to be careful with that one.
And then you want it, but you get to Triple A, man, that's the town. I don't even know where Biloxi is. I know it's in Mississippi. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
You want to get to Triple A, where you play for the Nashville Sound. And if we gets to Triple A, boys, I'm getting a private bus, and we are going down. Well, and I'll make sure there's Lachlan. I'll make sure there's a CD player in the band.
You. Yeah, I'll bring some.
We'll take
I'll bring
it down
some
to the
river. I'll bring all my credence.
Dude, Nashville is one of the great party cities in the world.
Gosh,
so I don't know if anybody's been there, but for a 20-year-old young man to go to Nashville to play baseball, I mean, just playing baseball in general, he's got to be. Is he like the happiest kid in the world, or does he look at this like a job at this point?
Job, I think deep down he's pretty happy and excited and thrilled. Yeah. But he knows it's a job and it's a grind. And you get blocked in organizations. I look at we're going to talk Blue Jays. I mean, Bo Bichette, what an opportunity for him at the time. There was an opening, and he got a chance to come in and play. I mean, I think he's a couple of years older than Ty, and you get an opportunity. And Milwaukee's such a good team. I honestly think Milwaukee could get to the World Series, as I do believe the Blue Jays could get to the World Series. So you kind of get blocked along the path, but you never know. I think every player will tell you they play for 30 teams because you possibly could get moved one day too. But yeah, he takes it as a job. He really does. And I'm proud of him. We're all proud of him. And so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So cool.
Well,
awesome.
Yeah, it's just fucking incredible. I mean, thanks for sending me that. I'm really glad we got a chance to play it. And
you got to hope he gets to the majors so you can get some of your money back, Rod.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. I tell you guys, I don't know if I ever told you, but I want my kids when I die, which could be any day now. Well, first of all, I want, the joke. I want 6 ex-Toronto Maple Leafs to be my pallbearers so they can once again let me down gently.
There you go.
But I do know what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my headstone. I'm going to make it into an ATM. Mm-hmm. And they come when they'll visit me. And I'm only going to allow them to take $20 out every time. So they come to my gravesite.
That's a good idea.
Hey, Dad, how's it going? Don't try to know. $20. And that's it. But yeah, they're on your payroll forever. And so I think I'm I'm on Freedom 95 right now.
Yeah, us too.
At
Over
least
here.
you got one that's in a career that might bounce back and make some money, right? Like I got mine's in dance. Like there's no chance in hell she's ever paying me back.
Yes, she can.
Yeah, yes, she can.
Yeah. Don't crap on that just because you're a dude. I know you would love her to be playing Major League Baseball as well.
Listen, if you're watching or listening in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, get used to this voice. I am going to be here. And move over fucking Brian Hall. I'm going to die on a mic in this town.
Okay, so Rod, I want to talk to you. We're talking baseball. We got opening day today. They haven't played. What is it? Fucking 3 years. I think it's 3 years since they've had. Well, it has been opener and 4 years since they played.
Year.
Yeah, but at the end of the year, but they haven't played in front of a packed house in 4 years. I mean, I want to get to that, but I want your expectations first of all. You've called a billion Jays games. Used to be the voice of the Blue Jays. Obviously, you know the game. Really grateful that you're here. But they're pardon my language, a fucking wagon this year. I mean, the work that they did in the offseason, getting Chapman, shipping out Grichuk, getting Tapia to patrol right field. They still have big bats. I mean, you know,
they get today?
Gossman moves into the rotation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the additions that they've made. Look at their starting lineup. I mean, this is Jose Barrios, Gossman, Jin, Manoah, who is great. I want to see this Kikuchi guy. Apparently, he's just a wonderful man and a great fucking starting pitcher. But where are your expectations for this year? Because everybody's talking World Series, and we know how good they are. We know how great Vlad is, how good the core is. What do you think?
Well, the hype. I mean, they're the most hyped team for sure. The guy in the middle is kind of. He's the kind of the guy that will be there he is, Ryu. And I just think that he is a key. And if he's healthy and he can pitch like he can, because if you look at Barrios, Gossman might have the best splitter, one of the best splitters in the game. Manoah, he was a stud. Kikuchi, I think, the jury might be out, but I think you have to look at bullpen too. And Jordan Romano. My expectations are very high based on what we saw last year. It came down to the last day of the season and, to get in or not. Here's the beauty is that they get an extra shot this year because there's an extra team in the playoffs. My only hesitation is, guys, it's baseball. And you just never freaking know. And it could be injury. It could be slump. The beauty of this team is their depth. And the fact that if somebody does slump, as we saw last year, somebody starts to slump a little bit, the other guy is able to pick them up. Do I expect 50 home runs from Vladdy? I think we all should expect around the same kind of numbers. But is Vladimir Guerrero going to be that same guy? Are they going to pitch him differently? Are they going to walk him inordinately like they did last year? Biggio, what is he going to be? I mean, when you lose a Marcus Semien, as you talked about, Dean, who's coincidentally in town tonight, and you lose a Cy Young Award winner in Robbie Ray, although I agree with not signing both of them, and quite frankly, I don't like signing guys on heaters. And I do think they were ably and capably able to fill some spots. Does that guarantee wins? No, it does not. But this team reminds me, and I'm aging myself, and when I used to host the games back in '92, of the Blue Jays then, when they came very close in '91 against Minnesota, and they had to go and tinker and add to their lineup. And remember what they did? They went and got Dave Winfield, and Jack Morris came over, and just name it. And they added extra infielders. I see that happening with this Blue Jay team. And the beauty is the Blue Jays would have won, I think, 96 to 97 games last year had they had a crowd. They had no crowds.
Yeah.
Think about where they played in Dunedin. Nothing against the folks in Dunedin. But then they go to Buffalo, and same thing. But people slag Rogers Center. It's still, when that place is packed and that roof is open and you're looking up at the tower and the game's on, it's still one of the greatest places to watch a game when it's packed. And I have a feeling it's going to be packed a lot this year.
They grabbed Zimmer this morning. You guys saw that as well. Yeah. That's pretty big news, is it not?
I didn't even hear that. Who do they have?
Bradley Zimmer from the Guardians.
Yeah, an extra body, and I just think you can't have enough depth. And because it's 162. Yeah, it's 162. And you're going to get hurt. And you're going to go through slides. But I just love the offensive power of this team. And we've always said, what do they need? Pitching. And they kind of had it, really, when you think of Ryu, but wasn't able to live up to expectations. I think Ryu's a a big factor, but I think they're really going to love Gossman and Barrios at the top of the lineup. One thing, Barrios, if you look at his numbers, guys, Barrios doesn't lead in any particular category. In fact, he's way down in strikeouts and that. You know what he does, though? He eats up innings. Mm-hmm. This guy is like, I think, 4th or 5th in baseball in innings pitched. Mm-hmm. So that's what you need. It's still a hitter's game, but it's a pitcher's game, man. It's a pitcher's game.
Dude, and that was like, going back to what you're talking about, you let a Cy Young winner go last year, right, everybody? Because that was the conversation we were having on Twitter last year. It's like, you can only sign one. Who's it going to be, Simeon or Ray? They let them both walk, and they plugged other holes, and they got more creative with how they filled this team out. Getting Matt Chapman prior to the season.
Gold Glove Award winner.
I tweeted about it probably 40 times. I'm like, you people don't understand how important this is for the Blue Jays going into this season, knowing that was a black hole for them last season, because he can do it all. I don't know if you watched some of his spring training stuff, but defensively, I've never seen anybody play third like that. Yeah. And that was the knock on him last year. He was injured. He wasn't the player he was. He's 100% healthy. And in a Rogers Center, how many dingers is he going to hit? Oh, yeah. I mean, like that, there's Simeon's production, right? There's Simeon's production. Then you bring in Gossman, who's a 2-pitch pitcher, a lot like Robbie Ray was, but his splitter's a little bit better. And he hasn't been on a heater. He's a proven ball player, right? Mm-hmm. So the way that they spread around those salaries, I thought was brilliant. And to your point, you talk about depth, what they were able to do prior to the actual start of the season, just having a look at their rotation. Look at this rotation.
Yeah, look at it. And here's another one there, guys. I really think Jordan Romano, I don't think he was on a flyer or a heater. And again, he kind of, I think he was walking his dog and turned his ankle.
Yeah.
But hey, Blunder, you like think about it. We're in our hood, man. That guy's from our hood. He's from Markham and grew up as a Mariner, played for the Markham Mariners, and to be a guy that they're going to rely on. Will it be tougher? I just love what he's made of. He gets up there. He's like an assassin, like a psycho killer. Like, dude, get in there. And he's one of the nicest guys away from it. But if you look at all of that, one of the things, maybe that's not good for anybody who has cable with Rogers, because they did spend a lot of money, which is good, by the way, because they haven't over the last few years. And I think Mark Shapiro and Russ Atkins have done an admirable job in filling spaces. Again, opening day doesn't mean a thing. First month, you want to keep your head, make sure you don't have to do what they did last year and then rally back like they did. Just stay in there. The Yankees are going to be good. You know that. The Red Sox are going to be good. And the Tampa Bay Rays are really, really good. Tampa Bay still probably, in my mind, is probably the class of the division. And the Jays cannot beat Tampa in Tampa for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But again, that extra playoff spot. And the other one, a lot of people don't talk about this year. Remember, it's a balanced schedule. Remember, you don't have to play against those Red Sox 20 times. You're balanced against everybody else, so you can kick the snot out of some of those weak-ass Central Division teams or West Division teams. You're going to get to see them a little more, and that's a big factor.
Yeah, they're ahead of the Yankees in the power rankings.
Yeah,
that came out.
They're ahead of a lot of teams in the power rankings. Like I was going over,
right?
Yeah, they are in the American League. But I mean, and to Rod's point is baseball. I mean, it's their season. A couple seasons ago, the Jays used like 7 starting pitchers. The next season, they use like 13 or 17 or something like that. It's about bodies. It's about being healthy. And I think the Jays have really concentrated on that sports science stuff. Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins were super bullish when they built the new facility on making sure that, their players were healthy and taking care of the facility down in Dunedin. It's professional grade, right? That's the difference. That's what we're seeing here, is that the work that these guys have put in silently over like 6 years, right? I hated Mark Shapiro. I was pulling my hair out. I don't know if you remember this. It wasn't long ago, like 5 years ago, when they struck out swinging on every free agent, and that whole thing with Edwin where they tried to sign him and couldn't, tried to get Dexter Fowler, couldn't, and they came back and they're like,
I wanted them to get Joey Votto.
Yeah.
And even back to the Alex Anthopoulos era.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be cool, you guys, if Atlanta's a really good team still. Atlanta, wouldn't that be like the Alex Anthopoulos World Series if the Blue Jays and the Braves got to? Now, again, I can't believe we're like 6 months away and we're talking World Series. That's the danger right now. Yeah. The danger of overhyping young players. There's so many young players. But what I love about this, and this is what Mark Shapiro told me this, I think a couple of years ago, and it's coincidentally our kids played in the same organization. So I saw Mark quite a bit. And I really like Mark, actually. I really do like him. He is a developer and a builder. He did it in Cleveland. He's kind of a background guy. I don't think the movie Moneyball did him any
favors,
because I don't even know if that even happened. He says it doesn't happen. But I remember him saying something to me one day, and I'll never forget this. I was asking him about Bichette, and Vladdy was still developing. He was kind of, I don't think he'd mind me saying, I think the organization was a little pissed off at the way Vladdy Guerrero was treating the game at the time. This is a couple of years ago. I'm not sure not taking it seriously is right, but he had to become a professional. And
was his weight. It was his weight.
That's a big, look at him now. I mean, and here's the other one too. Did you watch the Raptors game last night?
Yeah.
Did you see that interview with Vladdy Guerrero?
Yeah.
That dude speaks great English.
I know.
What did he learn? What
keep him off the mic.
What the hell did he do? To take a what's that speech?
Rosetta Stone. Yeah,
Rosetta Stone. Anyway,
they kept him away from the.
Yeah, I think they did. But one thing I asked him about Bo Bichette, and he said he has never been around a player. And keep in mind, Mark Shapiro has been around a lot of great players. He said he's never seen a young player like Bo Bichette, who every single day that he arrives at work, every time he comes in the locker room, not only does he want to be a good player, he wants to be the best player in the world. And that was 2 years ago, and I'm thinking, geez, he's young. And you see it. You see it in him. I mean, that's people probably look at that team and they wonder who the leader is, and you could probably look at, hey, George Springer is a key. A whole season of George Springer. George Springer is likely a leader. You go through all the leadership. Usually the catcher's kind of your leader too. I think Bo Bichette's the leader of the team. I really do.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
It was because he was
by example, not by
right.
being this guy of bravado.
Different types of leaders. His name got mentioned during one of the spring training games as somebody that the entire team tries to emulate and looks up to based on his work ethic.
Yeah.
So Rod, I think to your point, I think that's starting to get out. It's starting to eke its way into, the talking heads, lexicon, right?
You mean the sports donkeys? Is that what you're
talking about? Sports donkeys. I was trying not to use that term today, but
because we have Canada's premier sports donkey on the program.
Exactly. Sorry. You can say ass. You don't have to say donkey.
Hey,
when you don't know anything else in life, that's what you got to live on, man. You know so much about sports. Yeah. You know what? I don't even know where my freaking laundry is right now. I have no clue. But I can name you every MVP since 1949 in every league. But I have, and I'm not saying that's a talent or a skill, because that's just geek stuff.
Yeah, you got to lean on that, though.
You got to lean on it. Yeah, it doesn't work well in a bar late at night. I'll tell you that.
That's not true, dude. I have. First of all, let me just stop you there, because I know you're very humble. If you know Rod a little bit, he's very humble. If you haven't seen Rod host anything, just anything, like host a thing, you haven't lived. And I don't even know, how do you describe the Joe Carter tournament to these guys? How do you describe how fucking crazy that is? And the reason
Betty Ford Classic.
Only when Gruber's in town. No, it was Rod has hosted the Joe Carter Classic. It's a little, you can see the poster of it behind me here.
I was wondering if that's the Carter. Yeah, there it is, brother.
And the Joe Carter Classic, Rod was the host every year. I don't know if you still are. And it might be. Yeah. When he walks into the room, it is, and you're going to be humble when I say this, when he walks into the room after golf or before golf, everybody's getting ready. Maybe there's a rain delay. You have never, nothing can prepare you for this, because I know Rod, right? And so you walk in, and it's Charles Barkley walks over to Rod. He gives him a hug. He's like, "Hey, brother." And then Grant Fuhr's waiting to talk to him, and Gretzky's waiting to talk to him.
I owe them all money. I owe them much money. All of them. I'm a terrible golfer. I owe them golf bets. Yeah. That is the greatest tournament, you guys. That is a great, great tournament.
How do you explain how much of a mind fuck it is for guys like me? These are your friends. This is your crew. Yeah. These are people you know. Yeah. But for me to walk into that room and see this, it's literal legends, sports legends from around the world, all in one place. How do you describe the Joe Carter?
Well, it's an all-star game. It's like being at an all-star game, and the only thing is every sport is having an all-star game at once. Mm-hmm. It's crazy the amount of people they've had, and never mind that, entertainers too. And I think about Snoop Dogg was there one year. And how about this one? Charlie Sheen is there 1 year. No, it's crazy. And Andre Ribeiro. And my favorite I'll tell this story. I don't care.
I love Unleashed.
Anthony Anderson.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
Blackish. Yeah.
Blackish. Great dude. So I got to play one of the years, like, and everybody is with, there's Jim McMahon's there. My hero growing up was Dr. J, Julius Irving. I'm in the locker room talking to Julius freaking Irving, the coolest man ever. Anyway, I go on and on, and I hate to name drop. I said that to Justin Bieber earlier today. And anyway, I think I said that last time. Hey, but so I'm playing with Anthony Anderson, and I got my good friends, Bruce Bowser from AMJ, Dave Siviero, and Paul Henderson. Cheers to him. Cheers to him. 50 years in September since the goal. And so Henderson and Anthony Anderson joined our group. So I didn't even honestly know this is a few years ago, before Blackish was just coming out, and Anthony Anderson, I think, was in Boston Legal. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, he was on the Shield as well.
Oh, was he? Great.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now.
Funny guy, like really funny guy. Anyway, I'm on the cart with him. And he's got one of those little mini speakers. And now what I love about golf is you can just, unlike what you're seeing at the Masters in Augusta, I want one of those guys. I want Harry Higgs to just crack open one of those, or actually Cam Smith, because he looks like he's from Led Zeppelin. Cam Smith comes in and throws on like Stairway to Heaven in the middle of the back nine. So anyway, Anthony Anderson is playing like this loud music. All the, it's every hip hop artist imaginable. And if you know Paul Henderson, who's one of the nicest men ever. Yeah. And he really takes his golf game seriously. And this tournament is not serious. But no, it's a shit show, right? And everybody's drinking, and it's like, it's fun. And it's lunacy at its best. So Henny is really having a hard time concentrating. And so Anthony Anderson keeps putting it louder and louder. We're having a good time, actually, except for Henny. He's not having a good time. So at about the fifth hole, he comes up and he goes, Hey, Rod, listen, I don't know if I can play anymore. This music's just killing me. So I trust me, Paul Henderson is one of the greatest people, one of Canada's greatest heroes. So I'm thinking, okay, I got to protect him. He's Henny. So I go back to the cart with Anthony, and I'm trying to think about how I'm going to broach this subject, right? So it's like, yeah, man, I'm going to be on this and this. And hey, listen, so you know that guy over there, because I don't think he knew any of us were. That guy there scored one of the biggest goals ever in hockey for Canada back in 1970. He goes, yeah, really? I said, yeah, really. And he's having a bit of a hard time with the loud music. Goes, really. I said, yeah, it's a little loud, and he is a Canadian hero. He goes, yeah. You tell that mother. Shut up. So I went back to Henny. I said, Henny, I don't think he's going to get turned down.
Did he leave?
No, Henny's he's one of my favorite people. He gave me the best 10th birthday gift a guy could ever get when he scored the goal. It was on my 10th birthday. Yeah, I love the man, but it was such a unique moment. That is the Joe Carter Golf Tournament.
Yes.
Because I think, Dina, in your previous incarnation, you actually did the show.
Yeah. When I was at the Edge, we would go there and do the morning show.
Do you want to do the show? Listen, I'm part of the organizing committee. Do you want to do this show?
Yeah.
From there,
love to
that day.
Love to. Okay,
you're in. I'm in. You're in. You're hooked up.
Jeez, can I come?
Yeah, totally. We'll fly you in for it. Dude, you haven't lived until Bo Jackson walks up to you in the middle of the buffet line and he goes, "Where's the fucking bacon?" And you're like, "Oh my God, you're Bo Jackson. You're unbelievable." Or Ozzie Smith walks by and goes, "How you doing, my friend?" And you're like, "Oh my God, it's Ozzie Smith. It's the greatest fucking second baseman and shortstop in the history of the game."
Thurman, Thomas, Jim Kelly, Wayne Gretzky. Unfortunately, we lost a few too. Gordie Howe came one year. He was just so nice to have him there. We've had so many, and then we also have some influencers, probably the most beautiful golfers in the world.
Oh yeah,
who happen to be of the opposite gender.
That's right.
Are also in this tournament.
Oh yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. Let me just say this,
or the faint of liver.
Faint of liver, yeah.
I'm in,
dude. The drunkest I've been.
There's Dean drunk.
And then there was like, and I love Groobs, but then there's Kelly Gruber drunk. Like every year I would be like, I'm going to get Kelly Gruber drunk tonight. And my buddy James, who was one of the organizers, he's like, that's not possible, but good luck to you.
He didn't make it one morning. He didn't make it for the tee off.
I know.
But
I know.
He made it for the afternoon back nine. And, it goes back to, hey, by the way, back to third baseman.
Yeah.
One of the reasons the Blue Jays won in 92 and 93, they had the best third baseman in the game at the time was Kelly Gruber, who, by the way, hit for the cycle and was incredible. Tore his shoulder up because on a play that was a triple play.
Dion
and it wasn't called. Had there been video replay?
Yep.
And then I thought we had another great one in Scott Rowland, but I agree with you guys about Chapman too. So
yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah, but back to Joe and the Joe Carter. I keep telling Joe every year. I saw Joe 2 nights ago at the Conn Smythe dinner. I said, dude, thank God you hit that home run because the Darnell Coles Golf Classic just wouldn't sound the same. Or in Philadelphia, the Mitch Williams Golf Classic.
Dude, there was a year that Mitch came. There was a year that Mitch came to that tournament. He might have even been more than one. But I remember talking to Joe about it. And he's like, yo, Mitch Williams is coming. I'm like, are you fucking serious? He goes, yeah man. Because we had him on the show that morning. And he's like, and they're like great friends still.
What a nice
one
guy.
Of the all-time stories. Unbelievable guy.
Yeah. What a nice guy.
When is it? When is it? I got to check my calendar.
June 29th. June 29th. Skin 28, 29. Make sure you guys are set.
So
here's another good Joe story. I got Joe to come up because my kids played in the Toronto Mets organization. We have a big gala every year, and they bring a player in to talk to the kids and mostly to the parents because I think a lot of the kids don't even recognize who the guys are. But Joe was supposed to come, and we had him fly from Kansas City through Philly to Toronto, and there was that. I think it's like 4 years ago. Remember the massive snowstorm that hit?
Yeah.
Joe calls me, Rodney, I'm in Philly. I can't get out. I said, oh, are you kidding? So I what can you do? So we're like 3:00 in the afternoon. Fortunately, Pinball Clemens came and spoke, and he was phenomenal. Knocked it out of the park. Yeah, right. Yes.
Got to catch the ball and smile.
But get this. So now, Joe, I said, Joe, do me a favor. Can you just do something on your iPhone? And Joe is so accommodating with that stuff. He's just the greatest guy. Do something on your iPhone saying, folks, I'm stuck in Philadelphia. I wish I was there. I'll come next year, yada, yada, yada. So around an hour and a half later, I get this iPhone message. Hey, everybody, Joe Carter here in the Philadelphia airport. Unfortunately, I can't make it tonight. There's a big snowstorm, but I want to introduce you to my friend that I saw in the airport. Mitch Williams is at the airport that day. And so now we got Mitch Williams. We got Joe Carter. Yeah. They're talking. They went on for like 10 minutes. We probably saved some airfares, not bringing them in. Pinball Clemens came in. You can't get better than that. But how cool is that they were at the airport the exact same day?
That is so cool.
They have one of the coolest relationships and stories in sports history, and they keep it pretty quiet and private.
Yeah.
And Mitch had a hard time after that, but I mean, you won't find a nicer man than Joe Carter. I mean, you just will not. And so, yes, I'm in. We're going to come all over it. We'll be there with you if we're still allowed. I'm a much more calm person. I won't drink the place out of vodka this year, so don't worry about it. Yeah, we're going to be there.
We'll cover the drinking.
That's right. We got that.
They'll cover the drinking. Yeah.
The Dean Blundell Show, brought to you by, I was going to say Smirnoff, but no, you can't bring Smirnoff in. No more.
It's Polar Ice
Smirnoff
now.
Exactly. Yeah, Polar.
Polar Ice is actually paying for the
Prince Igor.
No, how about brought to you by White Claw.
Everybody drinks that.
In a pinch.
I drink that. My kids laugh at me.
You're right.
Dude,
they laugh at me.
They came out with all the good stuff after I quit drinking. Every time they come out with something tasty and alcoholic, I'm like, fuck, here we go. Real quick, I want to talk about the Masters, and we'll get to the Raptors, and then we'll get a little bit of Matthews and Marner. I know we got a little bit of time here. Tiger Woods, 1 under. He's, as you pointed out before, leaking oil today, as everybody is. Tough field. Yeah. How do you describe it? And again, you know the man. You've interacted with him. You are friends with these people. How do you compute what he's doing after 13 and a half months off, almost having his leg amputated?
Well, we none of us have any excuse to not go for a walk, take the garbage out, cut the lawn, do all the blue jobs, any of that stuff. I have a very wonky knee right now. It feels a lot better today. Watching what we watched yesterday. Is it the greatest comeback in sports history from injury? Probably not, but right up there. I think the Ben Hogan one, and I wasn't around at that, but if you look into it, Ben Hogan like he could barely walk at all and still was able to win a major championship. I do think, though, it was just extraordinary, like because of all the talk going in, and to know that this guy, number one, he could have killed himself.
Yeah.
Number two, he could have killed somebody else or others. It was a very fortuitous, lucky day for some bad driving, and then have to live with that. And probably in the back of his mind going, I may never do it again, but he's Tiger Woods. He's played on one leg, bad back before, and he's Tiger. And I always said, I've seen this guy up close. I've seen what he can do. Nobody wants to compete more than Tiger Woods. And if he's in it, which he is, he's in it to win it. Again, I saw today he was having some trouble, but the wins this afternoon, I don't think anybody's going to go low this afternoon.
Well, and the pin placements suck too.
Oh yeah, yeah. But they're having trouble just getting it on the green. So it's going to be tough, but it'll be better on the weekend. And I'll tell you guys, if Tiger is on that leaderboard within striking distance come late tomorrow or Sunday, there will be some heavy body orifice shrinkage going on for the rest of the field, because that's what he does. He makes people nervous. See, that's the thing. I think he's playing with house money, right? He's like, nobody's expecting me to win. I'm Tiger Woods, but Tiger wants to win. He's just so competitive. And guys who sleep on the lead, like, I don't know, I'm sure I see Charles, some of the guys who were like one-timers who've won, Charles Schwartzel needs an E and an S, I'm just saying. Danny Willett's up there. I saw. There's guys
leading.
He's
leading.
leading.
Leading. He's -4. Matsuyama -3. He's charging Schwartzel -3 type third. Yeah.
All guys who've won. Yeah, guys who have won. But
Connors
sleeping on the lead. Corey Connors. That's my pick to win.
Yeah,
-2 under.
1 over.
Yeah. Corey Connors is my pick to win because he stripes it. But if he's not my pick, I would say Tiger, because all the other guys have to sleep on the lead, and Tiger slept on so many. Well, I could make a joke. Tiger slept on so many leads.
Oh, that's what they call him.
But because he has, and he's been there and done that and won that before, I just think advantage him. But he's got to get within striking distance. He's the best putter ever.
No, you're right. Connors is -1 right now.
Yeah. Well, -1, Lachlan is good. I'm going to tell you, where is Willett right now? Is he done?
Number 1, Willett is -4 through 9.
He's on 10.
Yeah, -4 through 9.
So he's really, so he could actually take it a little deeper today. So I said by the end of today, if somebody can get to 6, which I think is reasonable, so it's 10-shot rule. I think they might have. So 4 over would probably be the cut number. One of the things about Augusta, if you're within 7 or 8, you make a move on the weekend, you can win. But I think the story is crazy.
Yeah. There's always better pin placements on the Saturday too. They always screw everybody on the Friday.
Yeah. Oh, dude, and Friday's one of those great days, right, where you watch guys either blow up or just hang in there. I think that's the whole point of Friday in a 4-round set on a weekend. But
Sunday they make them so accessible, Diener.
Oh,
what they want is guys to pour it in. They want that Nike logo to come swirling over, even though they don't make Nike golf balls anymore. They want that ball to roll in. They want hole-in-ones. That's what they do at Augusta.
Yeah, it's incredible to watch, and it's fucking memory lane stuff for guys like me too, right? Hey, Linz, it's like, oh my god, he's playing, he's back. It's like all those things, it's like the feels from your childhood or your teenage years where you were like, this is incredible. He's back, he's in it, and it's just and the hardware the guy has in his leg. Talking to an orthopedic surgeon last week about this stuff, and he's like, I don't think you understand how weird this is for me just to watch this, because his understanding of Tiger's injuries were like, dude, it was hanging off by a thread.
Yeah,
like his lower right leg.
They didn't have anybody that wanted to do anything. They
were
originally
grossed
wanted
out.
to take it. They wanted to take the leg, and he had one doctor on his side that just said, "This is Tiger Woods, guys. We need to find somebody."
Is that true, Rod?
Did
you? Because that's the story we're all hearing, that there was doctors standing over it, going, "Wow, we got to take it off," and then somebody went in and went, "Hold on,
no, this is Tiger.
This is
Woods.
The greatest golfer that's ever lived. We're not cutting his leg off."
Had it been about 10 years ago, I think there would have been about maybe 140 golfers who might have been stood over top and said, yeah, take it off.
Take it off.
But might have helped his legacy. But frankly, we kind of joke about it. Or take light of the fact that, hey, he was serious. It was a serious accident.
Oh, yeah.
And again, very lucky that no one else was hurt.
Yeah.
One thing I loved about this, you guys, and being around Tiger when he first broke in, I actually broadcast his second event in '96 at Glen Abbey. He was just a kid. He should have won that event. It was only a 54-holer, and Dudley Hart ended up winning. And Tiger was just, you could see him. My partner, Jim Nelford at the time, he and I actually took Tiger Woods out for dinner, and he wanted to go to Boston Pizza. That's where he wanted to go. And nobody, like, he was big name, but he wasn't like the name he is now, right? And he's just a guy. He's just a guy, ordinary guy who's an extraordinary talent. But what I love is the love in for Tiger right now. Yeah. I think there was some resentment even a few years ago when he got on tour, especially from the older players, about, who's this young whippersnapper? Why is he doing it the way he's doing? Who is this young guy, this young buck? And
the shit that Lee Trevino said.
And all of that. And plus, never mind, just add in the racial undertones of the whole thing. And that existed. It existed.
There's racism in golf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look where you are. But to now know what he's come through, and I think a humbler, kinder, gentler, a guy who smiles a lot. I think that's the Tiger Woods. Quite frankly, I do know. He's a great dude. Like, discretions, indiscretions, transgressions, everything else. He's just a dude. And
to a man, he's a good person, right?
Hey, so I'm doing some stuff right now with North Star, with our buddy Ian Leggett, right? Yeah. And Lego and Tiger were really tight at one time. Ask Lego. Everybody, you go to the range. When you see Tiger Woods in the morning, go to the range. How many guys come up and hug him and love him? Yeah. Even Phil Mickelson and Tiger were able to soothe over their, that I was a hated rivalry. Mm-hmm. And I love to see it. I think it's good for golf and it's good for Tiger.
I do too.
This morning during my sports casts, I was playing his pine straw shot yesterday.
Oh yeah,
where he hit the front of the green and then it went off and he went, "Fuck off!" So I just beeped off and played that out of the thing, and I'm like, "That's my golf."
That's we have an article. You're gonna say, "Oh, jeepers creepers, dang."
We have an article.
Cheese and crackers.
Cheese and crackers. Oh, come on. OG.
Like,
OG
me,
Tiger.
Blunders golf with me. He's seen him, man. Golf. I use every four-letter word imaginable.
Yeah, me too. It's a different life out there. Speaking of four-letter words, how about holy fuck, Austin Matthews last night?
Yeah.
55 and 56 scores the overtime winner. And I've been telling my friend Lachlan that he's a more complete and better player than Connor McDavid, which we'll get to. Well, listen, offensively, Connor McDavid's the best in the world.
Even my dog disagrees.
Oh, sorry. Your dog doesn't know hockey like I know hockey.
He's a big Connor McDavid fan. The kid lives down the block.
I got
a fucking dog in the world.
News from last night didn't make Lachlan's argument any better. That's for sure.
No, he 55-6. What do you make of not just what he's done to the Maple Leaf record book? I mean, taking out Rick Vive's 40-year-old record yesterday, and with a bunch of games to go. How consistent he is, how good he is, how quick he is, his hands, his defense, his offense. Is he's the best player we've ever seen in a Leaf uniform? I mean, that is a 100-year legacy, right?
Yeah, and you think about all the great ones, and I don't know about you. And again, Lachlan, maybe because you're out west, you were around the greatest of the greatest.
Well, no, listen, I don't want to get dragged into a conversation I wasn't a part of. I got told by these guys that Austin Matthews was the best player in the NHL, and I said, whoa. I said, listen, he's good, and he's great. He's not better than Connor McDavid. He isn't. You can't have that conversation.
I would say I would say I'm going to actually. I will probably agree with you on that one, just because I think Connor McDavid is an absolute phenom, fastest player. I would say Austin Matthews has worked his way into the conversation, though.
Absolutely.
I don't think he worked his way into the conversation in previous years. Like, I think there was some scar tissue, there were dents, there was injuries, and having Mitch Marner there is a big factor. Bunting has really helped. But I will agree totally with Dean in the fact that he is the greatest Toronto Maple Leaf I have seen. These eyes have seen. And I've seen Sittler. And I've seen Matt Sundin. And I've seen Doug Gilmour. And I've seen Wendell Clark. And I have, just go down the list. And all of those guys are, by the way, all their banners are up at Scotiabank Arena. And we're at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Endorsement right there.
Yeah. I had to think for a second. I still call Air Canada Center. And if Air
I still
Canada,
call it Maple
if Air
Leaf
Canada
Gardens.
wants to send me a couple of tickets anywhere where we're in North America, I'll still call it the Air Canada Center. But he is, watch him play.
Yeah.
Like they're different. One thing about Lachlan, they're different players.
They are.
They are completely different. You know what this argument reminds me of? Reminds me of the argument when Gretzky was around and Lemieux was around.
Yep.
And they were two of the best. I still, to this day, and it may sound sacrilegious, I still believe that Mario Lemieux might have been a better offensive player,
Agreed,
a goal scorer than Wayne. But Wayne was a more complete player than Mario
I think
Lemieux.
it's a very similar conversation in the way they play and the way they create space. Matthews finds his spots and stays open, and that's why he's having a good year, because they finally found some chemistry. Like he's having a banner year because they know to look for him. Whereas Connor creates his own space.
Connor McDavid here. I guess this might be the argument that you would have. You compare it to basketball. The difference between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. There's not even close in my mind.
Yeah.
And I compare this argument to this now because Michael Jordan just did things so efficiently, effectively. The rules were different at the time. He was a killer. He could play 1-on-5, right? I believe that's his case with Connor McDavid as well.
Yeah.
I think that, but the game's not played 1-on-5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Matthews, I think, would have a hard time with that. But if you watch Matthews, his skating skill, like people talk about Connor McDavid is fast and blazing and unbelievable skating skill. Austin Matthews on the edge is one of the best skaters in the NHL. But here's the other one.
Last night in overtime.
Oh,
perfect.
Here's the other one is that we have a lineage right now of players in the league that we may have. I could go back to that era: the Lemieux, Gretzky, Yzerman,
Jagger,
Howard-Chuck. It goes down. Nathan McKinnon now. Jonathan Huberdeau. Go down. Draisaitl. Go down the list of all of the great players who are game changers. Look at this goal. This is beauty. And another thing is, who the hell wears number 34? I understand Calder not wearing 98. Who the hell? The last guy who would wear number 34 in Canada that had success was George Reed. Come on.
That's a great point with it. Yeah, he made a stupid number absolutely electric.
And now that number is worn by everybody.
I know.
You become your number. They said that about Wendell Clark wearing 17.
Yeah.
What a dumb number. Who wears 17?
Yeah.
Look at you become your number. But it's an argument. One of the things, you can have all the arguments you want. I think it'd be kind of cool if someday the Oilers and the Leafs could ever make it to a cup final and they could battle against each other.
That's
one of the things that a lot of people don't.
Hope.
A lot of people don't know this is that, and this Connor McDavid has also helped Austin Matthews a lot. They shared the same trainer down in the Chicago area, right? And they worked together and did a lot of. They have worked in the past, so I just think it's a great era of hockey.
I do too.
Great era of hockey.
And here's the thing: is that we come from an era as a forlorn Oilers fan because I grew up in Alberta, and then you live here and you just assume the Leaf Nation bullshit because it's your hometown and you're on the radio for a long time, so you got to cheer for the Leafs.
Yeah.
But you become a fan.
Same thing. I'm from Winnipeg, man.
Yeah, you're a Jets.
I'm
guy,
not a
right?
Leaf fan.
No, I know, but we're talking. You talk about them and follow them.
Me neither.
Almost like a
Call that
secondary
Stockholm
team.
Call that Stockholm syndrome.
Yes,
Yeah.
So you know.
You're right.
I love them. I love them.
Do you know one thing happened to me a few years ago? I got this. Blender, you know Mark Rich?
Yeah,
from up in Blue Mountain. Great, one of the greatest guys. Biggest CFL fan ever too. So when I moved to Toronto, I remember because I hung out with all the guys. We always got ice at Maple Leaf Gardens. It was crazy. We'd play there 2 or 3 times a week, and it was before it was really hard to get ice, and the Canlands were around. And I remember inviting Mark and his couple of buddies because we needed a goalie. And Mark, hey, come on, Maple Leaf Gardens. The dude had never played, and I'll never forget how weepy and emotional the guy was because and he was taking pictures of everything, and I'm thinking, dude, you're from here. Because I'm so used to I don't get it. But all of the other guys that came were the same. They were taking pictures of it and how important it was. And you realize it's not culture, it's cult. And maybe the insufferability of the Leafs for so long.
Yeah.
I never got that. I never had that in Winnipeg. Oilers were so great and they became expected. But when you haven't won a playoff round, think about this: 18 years, you guys. 18 years.
Long time. A long time. And so, like, you're touching it now, like, as Leaf fans, you can see them all. They're like, oh, we're going to be – it's almost like the regular season was a gimme. You're like, fuck, whatever the regular season. And everything is riding on the playoffs. But going into the playoffs, we haven't seen Marner on this kind of a heater. He's using his body. He's shooting the puck. He's been the highest scoring player in the NHL since the All-Star break. He just is really good. But the Matthews thing, like, I go back to it. There was a time when we were like, we can never have nice things here. You never had the best player in the league. You never had the best combo in the league. But when you look at Edmonton with Draisaitl and McDavid, and then you come to Toronto and you look at Matthews and Marner, it's hard not to be excited to be a fan of either one of those fan bases right now.
It's hard not to be excited about the potential for Canadian hockey this year, regardless of how Bettman has tried to destroy the Canadian League. I do need to say this out loud. Mouth Merkin Matthews. Okay. Someone, if anybody knows a friend of his,
get a mustache.
Have a conversation with that kid.
Dude, Rod Black was the only sportscaster with a mustache for 25 years.
I don't know if a lot of people know. I don't have it. I actually gave it to James Duffy. He used it as an eyebrow, and then he transferred it over to Gino Retta. And now, I don't know if a lot of people know this. I might as well break it today. Austin Matthews, that is actually my mustache.
You wore it way better, Rod.
Just before
At least you actually had some substance to it. It didn't look like it didn't look like you were trying to be a pirate.
He's not. He's poppy.
I think he looks like Jack Sparrow a little bit.
Yes, it's awful.
Yeah, no, it's not awful. Dude, have you seen that thing on your face and you think his fucking face is bad? Look at you. You look like you stapled a squirrel to your chin.
Guess how much money I made last year? I cleared $16,000. I'm allowed to have this.
I cleared 16.
I'm going to tell you something. All I'm going to say is when I look at that, it just reminds me of some of my favorite magazines from the 1970s. That's all I'm going to say.
Me too.
So I'm totally turning you on, Rod?
Yeah. Before we let you go, Rod, I want to talk about the Raptors. You got 2 games left. Here's a quick thing, and this is just to kind of set the table. But the Raptors, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're in 6. Yes, they are. Here we go. They're 2 games up on the Bulls. 2 games left. There's a couple of different tie breaks. They had every pundit had the Raptors finishing, as did I. I mean, I was uninterested to start the season. I had no idea that Scotty Barnes would average what I think since the All-Star break, 18, 8, and 4. Yeah. He's going to be the rookie of the year between him and Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley's injured and the season. I mean, you've covered the Raptors. You were the Raptors guy for a long period of time. Are you as surprised as I am that they're this good and this big and this unconventional going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think I'm surprised by where they stand. I knew they would be good because they've got a great coach. Nick Nurse
he's awesome.
One of the best coaches I've ever been around. People can say, oh, he's a player's coach. You know, he coached Kawhi. They want to No. No, he is a player's coach who makes them better and makes them believe. I've never been around a coach, quite frankly, quite like Nick Nurse. He's a very unique, unorthodox coach who coaches like a jazz musician. And Thelonious Monk was his hero. He's still a musician. He thinks outside the box. Remember when he did the box and won? Mm-hmm. I thought the pressure was on. Again, think about kind of like the Blue Jays. They haven't had a crowd. They've got the best. I don't know if you guys, how many, Blender, I know you have been, but I don't know if Riley or Lachlan have been, to Scotiabank Arena to see a Raptor game in person.
Years ago, though.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
There is nothing like it. And they're the best fans maybe in sport. And so they've been without that. So now they're finally back, maskless and all this, whatever your argument is. But they play so hard. And they're not the most talented. Not the most talented team. They're not full of stars, but they got a lot of great, tall players. Out-rebound everybody. They hustle. They believe in Nick. So I thought they might be a play-in team at best. I also think what's happened to the teams in front. Look at Brooklyn, with what they've gone through and all the injuries. Everybody else kind of fell down a little bit and allowed the Raptors to rise up. They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs. I could see them taking a round. Look at it right now. I think they would match up with the Philadelphia 76ers, whose ass they kicked last night.
Yep.
So Nothing surprises me, and especially because of osmosis. And the osmosis is Kyle Lowry, who in my mind was the greatest Raptor I've seen because of his leadership, transferred those skills, those incredible skills, to another guy named Fred VanVleet, who is an absolute incredible leader. And as he goes, they go. Even when he doesn't play, he's on the bench. He still is that guy. Hey, we're not even having this conversation, you guys. If Pascal Siakam suddenly has this metamorphosis and turns into the Pascal Siakam we had before. What I think happened is during COVID, there was that shutdown for about 3 or 4 months. He didn't touch a basketball. And I remember he started playing basketball at 17. So all of a sudden you got a guy who's rusty and then trying to find himself. And he thinks, it just doesn't happen like that. It just doesn't happen like that. And so it's taken him a while to get back to where he was. They had a lot of film on him. They all knew about the spin move. He had some problems closing games. He's over that now. He's playing not like a star, a superstar. So that's a factor, Scotty Barnes. But I do think it starts at the top. Masai and Bobby Webster have assembled a great team, a deep team. And Nick Nurse, man, I think he should be coach of the year this year before he was coach of the year a couple of years ago. Just because
he's the John Herdman of basketball. Everything he touches turned to gold, and he's got such a great relationships with his people. The development of Precious Achiuwa. I mean, I watched him, a big, huge block last night, run down the floor, stop, pop a three, turn around. I mean, that is not what I expected from a guy like Precious Achiuwa, but it speaks to the development of each one of these players.
Or a guy named Precious.
Yeah. It's like his sister's name is like God bless you. His brother's name is like Jesus is King. Like this is a really interesting family. But at the same time, I mean, the development of these players and you speak to an undrafted phrase.
Gary Trent Jr.
Yeah,
Gary Trent Jr. They traded Norm Powell away for. Remarkable. They play hard. And that's the thing. They kind of play like a hockey team. They play really, really hard, and they baffle teams. You have to shoot lights out to beat them. I still have an issue with the way they one thing I don't like about basketball, I mean, I know everybody falls in love with their 3-ball. I just wish some teams would take their 2s a little more and try to stay within, because I find teams are getting too far out. They try to jack 3 balls back. Yeah. And it is a game, whatever. But I still think when you're like down 15, just take your 2s. Try to get it to 10.
You want to see that old school, throw it into the post, let the big man bang around, kick it out for a fucking 2, a long 2. You want to see that old school.
There's no big man anymore. Yeah.
No, there's nothing.
Can I knock the sports donkey off a second and ask Rod a question if he's watching Winning Time right now? Are you watching that show about the Lakers?
Oh, I haven't. I'm going to start though. I was going to start tonight. Is it good?
Oh yeah. Oh,
what is it on?
What's
John C. Reilly. It's
on Crave, right?
Yeah.
HBO.
Yeah,
It's on Crave.
Winning Time.
I love John C. Reilly. Yeah, it's about the Lakers, and apparently they got it down pat.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I watched the first episode the other day, and I'm like, holy shit, Jerry Buss just wanted to bang and own a basketball team. That's it. That's all he wanted to do.
You know what's interesting? I kind of got a bit of an awakening to Raptors from my daughter, who's been in Toronto for the last 4 years at Ryerson. And she came home for Christmas, and I was like, so any hope in hell of you ever going to a hockey game? And she went, what? No. Nobody, Dad, wants to go to a hockey game.
Yeah.
We go to the Raptors. And then the next time I saw her, she had a Raptors hat. They go to the games all the time. That's their sport. She's 24. Her and her boyfriend, fiance now, they're into basketball. They could give 2 flying shits about hockey.
Yeah,
it is appealing
it's
to younger
all
people
about basketball.
A lot. Yeah,
I think it's the music. I think it's a culture. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I know Drake took a lot of heat. He's always on the court. You see him last night. He looks like a coach. Drake's been one of the greatest acquisitions the Raptors ever had. I mean, it's like, think about it, what he's done for. And so guys, we're all of certain vintages. I'm an old guy. I still like the throwbacks. I still like watching hockey. I like all of those things. But the cool sport is basketball. It has been since the Raptors came in. It is cool. Michael Jordan made it cool. He made it cool for people to shave their heads. He made it cool for the
Grizzlies. The Grizzlies made basketball cool as well.
He made shoes.
By the way, Vancouver, I missed that. Vancouver was a great market for basketball, and
it was. Didn't make any sense that they.
But I'll remember a few years ago, I was coaching hockey, Blunder and Markham. The kids were, I think, about 12, 13. And I'll never forget going in the dressing room, and I had this big kind of pregame speech. And I'm listening to the kids, and I thought, okay, guys, just talk amongst yourselves. And I thought they'd be talking, what we're going to do or what the Leafs are doing, or talk, at the time it was Sidney Crosby. And I'm listening to them, and they're talking basketball.
Yeah.
And they're about to play a hockey game.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it is the cool place to be. It's a representation of Toronto if you go to a game live, in terms of the diverse crowd. They're loud. I think it's more affordable at the time. Remember, you could go for $7 or $11 to a game. I think that's changed now. It's way different than going to a Leaf game. I think the Leaf games, there's still kids that go, but the parents drag the kids. I think basketball, the kids drag the parents.
Yeah, and the parents that drag their kids to hockey games in $5,000 winter coats.
Yes.
Just gonna say.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem, right? Like, and you can go to a Jays game for 20. You can get a day of ticket for $28, and you can go have a hot dog and a beer, and you're not bankrupt, right?
No.
Like, I mean, we're really, hockey is in a bad spot in this country, in my opinion. Like in Edmonton, it's a $700, $800 night. Like,
that's cheap.
I can go to fucking Vegas.
Yeah.
I can go to Vegas for the weekend.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Well, Toronto,
or I can go to a hockey game.
Remember, the Leafs series, they would have met Tampa in the next round. This all going back like over 20 years. And I remember looking at it, and you could have flown. Had they made it, you could have flown to Tampa, got tickets in a hotel, and had hot dogs and beers, and it would have been cheaper than going to a game
in your hometown.
Than at was the Air Canada Center.
What?
No.
Yeah.
No, that's messed up.
Yeah, that was that same thing with Carolina. Do you remember when Matt Sundin, they were on a heater and they made it to the Eastern Conference Final against Carolina, lost. Carolina won the cup. I remember because a buddy of mine, he's like, let's book tickets to go down to Carolina. Let's go see a game in Raleigh. And I'm like, how much is it? He's like, $500. I go, for the tickets? He goes, no, everything. We can fly down there, stay in a hotel, get tickets to the game for $500. And I'm like, how about your tickets on the rails at the Scotiabank Center, which was then the whatever you call it, the Air Canada Center.
Air Canada Center.
And he's like, $1,500.
That's insane.
Jeez,
yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Rod, listen, buddy, I know you got to go. Always appreciate talking to you. Thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Good seeing you guys, man.
Baseball.
Great to see you too, man.
I'm taking you up on the Joe Carter thing.
Hey, dude. Okay, so bucket. I got to write all these things down. So, Joe Carter, we're doing that. You guys want to do Tuesday and Wednesday?
Yeah, both days.
Okay, and then
he's serious.
Then we got the party van that's going down to Appleton, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
drinking Appleton and dairy and cheese.
Yes,
to watch the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers against the Beloit Sky Carp.
Yep.
That'll happen too. Maybe we'll do that right after the tournament.
I'll fucking go. I'll go with you.
Suckerfish. Hey, it's great talking to you guys.
Always great to see you. At Rod Black TV is where you can find him. Thanks, brother. It was great to talk to you. We'll talk to you soon. He is such a beauty, isn't he? One of the greatest human beings I've ever met. You have no idea. And he's like that all the time. Like if you sit and talk to him in a professional setting, he's the same guy when you talk to him in a personal setting. And if you're lucky enough to get an invite to his house, like if you're lucky enough to go and visit him and his lovely family, and Nancy's lovely, his kids are incredible. He treats you like you're literal royalty because he's from out west. He's like a Winnipegger, right? Like he's just a fucking beauty. One of the great guys you'll ever meet. And
that's one thing. Everyone laughs at me. We really enjoyed our time in Winnipeg, and everyone just starts bursts out laughing. But we did, and the reason being was the people. They're so you can't take them out of Winnipeg. Rod, I don't know. We should have talked to him a little bit about that. But I've noticed this: people that were born and raised in Winnipeg, if you remove them from the island, they lose their minds, right? But when they're there, they're fine. They're completely sane in Winnipeg, right? Yeah, and we
take them out of the peg. They go crazy.
They go nuts.
They lose their bearings.
Yeah, they can't handle it.
Wait a second. Everybody in Toronto is way smarter than me. I want to go home.
I've always thought the funniest thing on The Simpsons ever was the sign that they show when you go, "Welcome to Winnipeg. We live here. What's your excuse?"
Anyway, that was great. Really great to have him.
And he agreed with me on the Connor McDavid being the best player.
That's because he didn't want to fight with you. He didn't want to
He
fight
was
over...
taking shots at me through the whole podcast.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Made fun of your CDs the second he got on the podcast. Your goatee, said you look like a homeless guy. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. Was that frustrating for you?
No, I'm good. I'm good with it. Rod Black made fun of me.
Yeah,
I'm
not a bad deal.
Totally okay with it.
The last episode we had him on, I was jumping for joy. I was on the phone with Dean. I said, Rod Black laughed at my joke.
Dude, he called me after, right? I guess I take for granted that our kids played hockey together and we've known each other for 20 years and, we were just community friends, right? Who happen to be in the same industry. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. But I take it for granted because Linz calls me and he's like, oh my God.
I did. I was like a fangirl.
He's like, oh my God, I cannot believe I got to talk to Rod Black today. He laughed at one of my jokes. And I'm like, good for you, buddy. That was awesome, right? But I guess I take it for granted.
You do.
So I am dead serious. I actually took a look at my calendar. I can make it out for that.
Dude, you're coming.
If we're doing the broadcast,
2-day broadcast. So here's what happens at the Joe Carter. So 2-day broadcast. We do a show during the day whenever we want. Usually in the morning before, and then you go out and you play golf. So like there's a celebrity thing. It's a huge celebrity thing, but there's a just celebrity thing the day before the tournament. Yeah. That's what you want to go to because everybody's unhinged, having a great time. You'll be bombed. I'll be high. We'll have a great time. And Linz can come in, do the show with us as well. He can caddy.
I'll do all the video stuff. And
if you were starstruck with Rod Black, walking into a room where Charles Barkley gives you a high five, or having a shower right next to Dr. J, which I did do. I didn't say anything in that because I didn't want to steal Rod's thunder. But you're getting naked next to Ozzie Smith. There's Bo Jackson getting out of the shower. There's Dr. J going in the shower, looking at you in the eyes, by the way, because he spent a lot of time in change rooms. He's like looking at you in the eyes. He's like, what's up? And I'm like, nothing. It's Dr. J.
Nothing.
Bo Jackson just asked me if he could borrow a comb. He just asked me if I could borrow a comb. I can't believe it. Asked me if I had aftershave.
Dr. J.
Dude.
Let's just want to see it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, you got to see it.
Yeah. Then Gretzky walks in and he's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "Not bad." Oh my God, Gretzky.
Yeah.
And it's just a day, and they're all walking around like you sit there. I remember one time I'm sitting there having breakfast, and we're doing the morning show, and Bo Jackson walks by, and I'm like, it's Bo Jackson. And then right behind him, no word of a lie, Charles Barkley winks at me. He's like, how you doing, brother? And I'm like, I'm good. And I just started eating again. And I looked up again, and there's Dr. J. These were the first 3 people I saw in the morning.
Jesus.
That's insane. And then all of a sudden, dude, we haven't talked about Joe Carter, right?
Yeah.
It's his tournament.
It's his thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's friends with all these guys, right?
Yeah, it's incredible.
I might be able to make that work. Because
you're coming. So is Linz.
We're not leaving until as soon as he said June. I was
June 28th.
Damn it, June 28th, 29th. Yeah.
Oh, this is something that you can't not do.
Yeah,
it's one of those things
you push everything off for this.
Yeah, your favorite hockey player of all time will be there, Mike Krushelnyski.
Yep, my favorite player of all time.
Yeah, is Cliff there, or is he? He's pumped in. Cliff, are you there?
Yeah. Hello? Okay, 1 second. What? Okay, I need a video, right? Can you see me?
I love this guy.
Yeah!
There's Cliffy.
Everyone.
Myers.
Did you just make me listen to sports for 20 minutes? I was told to come here at 3:45, and I'm listening to sports. It's like watching a foreign movie without subtitles. It was horrible.
Sorry.
Like, imagine living your whole life named Rod Black and knowing you don't have a black rod. That is rough. Nice to meet y'all. I don't know if I met you, Lachlan. What's on your chin?
This is my attempt at facial hair.
Yeah, it's a chin. It's a chin wig. It's just a chin merkin. Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of concerning.
How are you, Cliffy?
You want the honest truth about this thing, Cliff?
Yes.
I can tell you. I'll be quick. So I have very, very little control around my house. I'm married. I met my wife in 1991. We moved in together like a month after and I've lost everything.
Okay.
I've lost control of everything. This is the last thing I have.
No, it's not.
Firstly,
the last.
Leave
She
you.
picks my clothes.
Doesn't pick your clothes.
Yeah,
It's all bullshit.
His clothes.
You got that goatee because you own a guitar shaped like a V.
I just ripped the harmonicas out.
I saw something in the chat said that my mic sucks. Is it really bad?
Yeah,
it's
awful.
Fine. It's terrible, but it's
you know what?
so
you.
No,
kind
put
of
it back
suits
on. Yeah, put it back. I
Clifford,
feel
it
like
kinda
I'm talking to an angry meth head that works at like a
You
call center.
are.
I was gonna order a Baconator and fries. And can I get a Coke with that?
You got the drive-through headset on.
Just
That's
say-
what he's saying.
Just say first window, sir.
I'm naturally so loud, like just day to day. So yeah, if it's bullshit, just let me know how to do it.
Yeah,
Is
down
this-
there. That's perfect. That right,
Right
there.
here.
Yeah.
You like
that's
it
so
like
much better.
Steen? Mm.
Yeah, I like it nice and close to your mouth,
Nice and
Cliffy.
low.
Ooh, so hot.
It's been a while, brother.
Can you imagine
It's
if
been a
you're
long
flying
time.
a plane and Clifford comes on and goes,
Oh, dude.
You know you're in for a good flight.
Okay,
There'll be no
everybody,
jerk-
don't worry about it. Fuck you. I'm getting on a plane now.
There'll be no jerking off on that flight.
So let me back up because
No.
Cliff just appeared on the show after we had Rod Black on. He's like, boom, there's Cliff. And Cliff, I haven't seen you. When was the last time we saw you? It's gonna be 5-6 years ago, probably.
Yeah, it was before the apocalypse, and I was married still.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was still a lot happening then. Yeah, so it's been a hot minute, I'll say.
Yeah, 5-6 years. And I met Cliff when I got fired from the Edge, which I've got no problem saying, by the way, fired. When I got fired from the Edge, they put on this roast, and I don't know if anybody has heard about this roast. Jerry D hosted it. We had a lineup of comedians, and they just got 2 hours to treat me like shit after the worst month of my life.
It was
surprising
awesome.
Jerry D was there.
Yeah. Oh, he loved it.
Oh, yeah, he's the host. I got a gig out of that and then bombed it so hard that Jerry never hired me again.
Oh, that's so he comes up. So Cliff emails me. I don't know how he got a hold of us. I think it might have been through Zeke. He's like, "Hey,
No,
this
it's Twitter. I just
Twitter?
added you.
Oh yeah, he's
That's how
he's
I
like,
ended
"Hey."
up on this show too.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey,
Twitter.
I wanna." Yeah, Twitter. I built the whole show on Twitter. I built the network with Twitter. But bottom line is he sends me a note. He's like, "I want to perform at your roast," and I'm like, "I got fired, so like I don't give a shit." So I don't know who this guy is. He goes up. He's I think one of the first 2 or 3 comedians, and absolutely slays it. Like it was his first standing O. Fucking thousands of people standing up.
I'm standing O. I haven't had one since.
Oh, really? That was it?
I've paid people to stand up. They just won't do it. Yeah.
So again, then we get to know each other. We do a few shows. I go my way. He goes his way. He gets married. He has a child. Now he's on the show without a wife. And his entire life is
Makes sound like I lost her. Like she fell in a sewer. without a wife, he's looking for her everywhere.
So take me back because the last time I talked to you, wife, kid, life's good. You've working a couple jobs. You were doing stand up, and then you just decided one day. You and I were talking about you coming on the network.
Yeah,
and you just decided one day to delete every social media thing you had.
Yes,
and get out of the business. And like it was almost like you said, "Fuck the world" for a while. Is that accurate?
I had to, man. Like I was on my own path. I was going through shit with my ex, and that's the thing. When I think the last time we talked was actually with my ex. Like I came with her to Toronto.
Yeah.
And we hung out, right? Like,
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you tried to Me Too her in an elevator or something.
No, I
but
didn't.
Like, kidding. I'm just doing that for shit and giggles. But yeah, we were like, I don't give a shit. But no, like I was living in Hamilton, and like things were going good. I need to kind of preface a few things for your audience, just so they know that like not only is this my ex-wife, but she was my first girlfriend. Right? Like I met her in Bible college, and then we divorced at the age of 33, which was, so that's my first breakup. That was the same age that Jesus died.
Against the whole thing of the Bible college that you got divorced too. Wow.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, you lost your marriage. Just said the same age Jesus was murdered brutally on a cross.
But you know what? He resurrected, did he not?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. And it was 2019 when we got divorced. What year are we in, Dean Blundell?
2022, Cliffy.
Oh my gosh, Easter Sunday, bitches. Cliffy's back. I'm just like, I'm so excited. Like, you know, I've had to go through a lot of personal work. Like, you know, I've struggled with sobriety. I went 5 years sober. I fell off at the divorce, and that wasn't good.
When you say fell off, you mean like you started drinking again, or did you start like, or
again?
Like how much were you fucked up?
Dude, I sent my first dick pic. I was drunk to myself. Yeah, it was horrible. Did you any of you warn Lachlan about this?
No, we did this for a reason.
Clifford, I'm doing everything I can right now just to follow along and not comment because I've got a lot of things that I want to say right now.
You say you speak your mind.
Oh, dude, Cliffy is an open book, and he lives his life. This is why I'm excited to talk to him. So I got a text the other day from Linz, and he's like, "Hey, Cliff Myers wants to come on the show," and I'm like, "What, Cliff Myers?" And he's like, "Yeah." I go, "You know him?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's not dead." That's unbelievable. And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then we were kind of talking about it, but that was what I said to Ryan, Cliffy. I'm like, and to you, Locke, like, one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet, one of the most infectious guys, most creative guys. He's really incredible that way. And he just disappeared. It's like you just said, "Hey, I had a bad fucking time." Your wife split and you just started drinking again. Is that the deal?
Well, no, it goes. There's a whole rabbit hole, and this is the thing. Last time when I am an open book, and that has always been my approach to comedy: to be openly flawed, to fail forward. Like that's always been like kind of my comedy philosophy. So we live in a really interesting time where people are like afraid to fail, and I'm just like, no, fuck that, you got to fail, right? And so now I'm at this point where I've failed so much that I get to actually kind of be on the other side of it, right? The dark night of the soul and all that kind of shit. So I feel I got to go back to like a couple years ago where it was like 2018. Dean, you lived in Toronto area. You ever get bed bugs before?
No.
Oh, so I was from Hamilton. Bed bugs were our mayor. And yeah, it was so bad. I have a 1.5-year-old baby. These bed bugs was coming at night, and we're just like, oh fuck, we got to find a place. And you know, we're poor as fuck. I chose comedy as a career in Canada, right? So I was like, it's not like we have money, and like, so we were really struggling, and we didn't have a place to live. Now, was my kid alive the last time? Like,
yeah,
we
your kid had just been born.
Yeah. Okay, so like, did I I told the whole story of how the craziness at his birth?
No.
Okay, we gotta go even further back. All right, we're gonna start there, and then we go because this is a journey, everybody.
Yes, it is.
Seeing cat cry emojis in the chat. Okay, all right, now. So it's the day of the birth of my son, right? And we're telling people like you know, stay in the waiting room. It's just me and my ex in there, whatever. Also, her name was Linz, so it's weird when y'all say Linz because it gives me flashbacks and stuff.
Sorry, dude.
PST.
Yeah. Yeah, if you could just legally change your name, that'd be great.
Yeah, you got it.
But yeah, so like we're in the hospital now. To preface, you have to understand. She comes from a very extremely religious, charismatic, Pentecostal family with almost no education, and these people, and these people, they're not the brightest stools, you know, in the crayon box. So what they're up to is they want to be in the room we don't want them to be. They start losing their shit and start screaming at us in the hospital, like in front of doctors, in front of nurses, because what happened was my ex-wife, Lindsay, she needed an emergency C-section. And they said that we can't do that because we had to wait for Jesus to perform a miracle.
That's what her parents said?
Yeah.
Come on.
And I'm like looking at the doctor like, The miracle's standing right there. Went to school to be a miracle, fuckface. Like, what are you on about? And she starts like fucking like they start like literally screaming, like they're threatening, like should we get security? There's a baby trying to come out of my wife's vagina. Like you can just see him like, hello, is anyone gonna let me out of here? Like just like poking his little fingers through, like motherfuckers, like fucking Jack Nicholson on The Shining, right? So we're like telling him to go, and like my mom, she's this like little Portuguese woman. She looks like the penguin from Batman, and I'm just like, oh, like mom, you got to deal with this. I don't know how to get rid of these people, right? And my mom, she's the best Big Brother player I've ever met. I'm a big reality TV fan, and she like goes to the mom, the sister, and she's like, "Yo, we got to get out of here." And they leave the room, and they don't come back. And I'm like, "Oh my god! Like what? How? What happened? What did you do?" Right? And I find out afterwards, after my kid's born, and there's like goo everywhere and all that kind of fun stuff. And I go in, and I go to my brother. I'm like, Jeff, what the fuck happened? Like, how did you? Like how did mom stop them from coming back in and like trying to shank me in the hospital, and so he was like, well, what happened was my mom, she took him into the waiting room, and she was like, oh my god, Lindsay could die, the baby could die, we need to pray harder than we've ever prayed before. And in the meeting room, my mom gets a circle and kind of holds them hostage in prayer.
So the dog.
Which is the most brilliant fucking thing I've ever seen her do. She used her own religion against them. Yeah. And it was like so bizarre to see this happening on the day of like Henry's birth, right? Yeah. No, someone just said, "How do you pray harder?" She would literally, like Jeff said, the mom would like try to get up, and then my mom would like put her hand on her shoulder and be like, "Hey Jesus, hey Jesus, another thing to say to you right now." Like she was like really, yes, my mom is sheer genius, absolutely. So I need to set the stage that her family not only does not like me, but they really want to intrude on this relationship, and it's causing friction in my own marriage. It's causing friction in my career. Yeah. I fuck up of all social media. I start jerking off on my own feet. Things get weird.
Lachlan,
I'm so glad you're sober.
Yeah, I'm about 4 months sober now. I think it's going to stick this time.
Why is the whole family on both sides at the hospital? I shouldn't ask questions right now. I think
you're having a baby, dude. It was a baby.
What? Italian, no. Bitch.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Italian and weird.
I don't know.
Italian woman, she can't be at a hospital while a baby's being born.
I am so glad I had none of that in my life.
Stress, dude. So
I was there with my wife. It was just the two of us.
Yeah, same.
This is bizarre to me.
I was there with the camera. Like, whoop.
Yeah, no, like there's a bunch of people. Like, Dean was there. Like, yeah, it was crazy. He was just eating a burrito. We're like, dude, you're getting a mess everywhere. Like, it was like a whole thing. But like, that was it. So we had to fast forward to the bed bugs. We don't have a home. Where are we going to live? Her parents.
I was hoping we'd get back to the bed bugs.
Yeah. That's no one's ever said that before. But yeah. So we go in and we go to live with them, and that's not a good situation to live with. Crazy religious people. I don't know if you know that. Shouldn't do it.
Yeah. I used to be one of them, so yes, I do. I understand it very well. So you go live with them, and that didn't work out. Apparently.
It didn't work out. I'll tell you how it went down. I took a 200 milligram pot brownie. Oh, it was good. It was a good one. And then I was watching poker, and I was wearing like my pajamas, and I was doing that instead of being employed. Right? And so like I'm sitting on the couch, and her mom comes in and starts like yelling at me, and she's like, blah 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 blah, we don't like you because of this, and then she's Jesus, just doing the thing, and they like try to like legit like fight me, like her dad wanted to like old timey like fight me.
Put your dukes up.
Yeah, put your dukes up.
To get your dukes up and scrap.
Yeah, look at me, I'm like a fucking teddy bear. You know, like I'm just like I'm not that kind of guy. I've never engaged in physical conflict in my life.
Right.
And my ex was like, "Yo, we got to get the fuck out of here." And we didn't have a home. And like literally we took what we could in an SUV. We packed it in. We fucked off to Trenton where my mom lives. She did not want us there. And then like I got to figure it out. And then that's where I found this place.
Nice, yeah. I love the picture and the throw rug you got on top of the couch there. It looks nice,
right? Like it's nice. This is where we came to as a marital home. So we had to do a lot of scrambling. I actually went and worked a week at Absolute just so I could make first and last. Like it was really like it was starving artist shit.
Yeah.
You know, like you want to live your life, you want to pursue this awesome career, but life still slams you. You're still going to be poor as fuck, deal with bugs, have to have like a divorce and shit like that. So it's just everything came from the bottom. And when we moved here, it became a choice almost, right? Because there's no way me and her family could ever chill again. It was just like we weren't connecting it. And yeah, she chose the family, which is fine for her because we are co-parenting like champions, my dude.
So you guys are still friends and shit? Because she's a sweetheart, by the way.
5 minutes away, dude. Like her birthday's coming up. I'm getting her a cool ass shelf. Like, yeah, we're homies. I've known her since I was 19 years old. I'll love her till the day I die. And that's
she's pretty hot too. She's an attractive woman.
Yeah, she's currently single. So if you're interested, Dina, let me know. She likes older dudes, and you're looking like you're approaching 60, so that's great. Were you like, oh, I like the joke?
Now Lachlan loves you.
Myself.
Yeah, now Lachlan's in. Now Lachlan's like, I see what you see in this guy. Yeah. Okay, so you're getting back on your feet, like you're back into the comedy game. You got a special that's coming out because that was one of the things we talked about was you like doing stuff here. Like I asked you, I'm like, dude, what I want you to do is like a reality TV blog. I want you to do a vlog. I want you to do a podcast because I know you're fucking good at it. Like I can see that in you, and I can see that you'd be successful at it. But my problem is this: because I know you're just starting this whole thing out. If you come over, I don't want you to fucking spaz out and split and delete all your socials again. That's my question.
Well, that is going to happen. But listen, no, I don't think that's quite going to happen. But I want to give you a little bit of context to that because, and this is actually anyone that's like pursuing shit. I feel like you can kind of get something out of this. I thought it was really nice of Dean to offer me to do a podcast with the network. I honestly thought it was really cool. What it wasn't independent. And for myself, I was trying to find my voice. I wasn't fully comfortable with who I was yet. I was still experimenting a lot. And that, like, even my own podcast, I haven't started yet. I have the logo and the music and everything ready to go. You know, like a fun podcast with all my comedian friends. But it's just been this thing where I've been ruthlessly prioritizing my life and kind of trying to shift things around. And at that time, it just wasn't the right move for me. And I should have communicated that better, but it definitely, like, now looking back at it, I can see, like, no, I've learned the life skills in that time to be able to set myself up for a better second run at this.
Good.
When the pandemic started, Cliff, you really hit it out of the park with your lives that you were doing on all your socials where you were playing the guitar and you'd have Henry with you and you would like make up songs with him and stuff, and they were really fun. It was the darkest time anybody else was going through because it was a lot of unknowns back then, and you were like the light in a lot of people's days when you would show up. Because every time I would hit it, I'd be like, "I'm watching Cliff. This is absolutely."
I'm gonna need some proof of that because I'm terrified right now.
Dude, go to my YouTube channel. I got a song made about my ex-wife's socks. I think you'll love it. So.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Check out his special that's on YouTube, Locke. You'll love.
I'll tell you this, Locke. I'll tell you this about Cliffy. Okay, now he scares the shit out of me too.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those dudes. It's like so intense, and he's so out there. But I've never met anybody with a heart of gold like him, ever. Like I've never met anybody that's as like empathetic as him, that's as kind as him, but is as ruthless as a fucking comedian as him. Like he's one of those like super raw comedians that gives it all up, and you think he's having a heart attack in the middle of his set almost every time.
But it feels like it sometimes.
Yeah, dude. But he's like a fucking See, this is the part of the business that I fucking love, right? is that I look at a guy like Cliff and he'll pop into my mind. I'm like, fuck, Cliff should really be online way more than he is. Cliff needs to be doing more of this stuff. And so when you get to know Cliff, you'll know that he's basically a content factory. And if you could surround yourself with good people, because he is a good person who's a content factory, you do it, right? Which is why I'm happy to have him here. You'll love him as you get to know him. He is fucked in the head, though. Like the most fucked in the head out of anybody that I have ever met in my life.
Stop it. I don't believe you.
Yeah,
He's like a way bigger Bonzi and a way louder Bonzi.
Yeah. He's
You know
Bonzi if Bonzi was creative.
Bonzi's creative.
No, he isn't.
Yeah.
He is not creative.
A big part of it is hippie vibes, right? Like I've loved the whole hippie thing for a long time. I've always been like, I want to do my thing the way I want to do it, when I want to do it. And sometimes it makes me really bad at comedy, like this part of it, the content part of it, the like creating things. Anytime someone's like, yo, hop on my podcast, let's hang out, I have a great fucking time. You know what I mean? And like, if we like could find, I would love to find.
It's like a block. You got a block that you can't go and do your own podcast, but you can do other people's.
I think I'm past it now. I think because I think that's all like legitimately. I've okay, I did LSD, right? And
I'm just keeping a list of the things that are shocking me the most.
Strap the fucking Lachlan cross.
Dead bugs.
Is that your actual name, or did you take that for Easter?
Yeah.
Not drinking.
So LSD, did LSD once. Yeah, go ahead.
But here's the thing. So I try LSD, right?
Yeah.
And I have it all planned. I'm like, I'm going to go on a little vacation, you know? I get my friend. She sends it to me in the mail, taped to the bottom of hot sauce. Right? And so I get it. I've never done acid in my life. And no one's in the house, completely by myself. And I take it. Cool. Now I'm experiencing what LSD is, right? And my cat's face is bubbling up and whatever. I didn't realize like the pandemic, like y'all, do you get it where you don't know the date? You know, where you just don't know what day the week it is and shit?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it was September 11th.
Should have asked your cat.
He was on the phone.
I did. It was September 11th, right? And I went on my phone just like fucking sweating of LSD. And I'm seeing all these memorial posts for the 9/11.
Yeah.
With the buildings and the planes and everything.
And you're fucked.
And I thought it happened again.
Oh.
Because I was like, wait, didn't they make it into one building? Why do they keep doing this? There's other buildings. And I throw my phone into my kid's room and I close the door. And I'm on the other side, and I'm like in that room. So now I'm trying to figure out how to get 9/11 out of my kid's room. You know? Yeah. I've never said it that way.
Hey, Locke, now you get it. You're laughing. Now you get it.
Has a cat. That's on the list.
Has a cat.
I'm recovering from pneumonia and COVID. I have all the premorbidities, and it hasn't killed me, so I'm invincible.
Yeah. So you had COVID, and as you're a bigger dude, right?
I had COVID and pneumonia at the same time, and probably the clap. It's been crazy.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
Self-induced, or
oh my goodness, dude! Like I don't know what single Cliffy's like, right? Like I was in a 15-year relationship.
Have you been banging?
Well, here's the thing. I've always been a big, awkward, furry guy. Girls weren't into me in high school. That was never a thing, right? Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, I'm divorced. They're coming out of the sewers like jackals. Just crawling out of there, right? And they're just like, we want to see your 4.5 inches of manhood. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And like, yeah, like these girls start going, like coming into my DMs. I tried like the online dating and stuff, and it was weird to me because I'm not. I don't know. I have a girlfriend now. I live with her. But
you do. You have a girlfriend now. So you have someone that's in there and someone that you like, and she likes you, and you guys
should tell her about clap.
Yeah.
Is she court appointed?
No, her sister slid into my DMs first.
Oh.
And then as I was gearing up to hook up with her sister,
Yeah.
I started talking to her, and then I just switched sisters. So like,
As
yeah,
you do.
yeah, you know that hit TLC show, Sister Switchers, right? We're all aware of that.
No, I've never seen that show. Ever
Oh,
once.
it's a good show. It's where two brothers swap sisters and fuck them. It's weird.
I think that is a show. I don't think he's
Probably
kidding.
is.
There is a show where they swap
It is.
wives.
No, it is a
swap or
show.
something.
It totally is a
swap,
show.
yeah.
Cliff, dude, if it's a reality TV show, Cliff knows it. He's like the fucking TV digest of reality TV.
Oh,
Like most of his tweets prior to him snapping and deleting all of his tweets in his old account. Most of his tweets were
I
like,
love people
I
giving
can't
everyone
believe- What's that?
LSD advice now. When doing LSD, you need a happy surrounding.
Oh, yeah. So my friend told me.
Well, listen, Cliff. So
Not
tell us where we can
Cliff's
get this.
apartment with a cat.
Yeah. Tell us where we can get that special of yours, because I watched it yesterday, probably about 20 minutes of it, and it was fucking classic Cliffy. Like, just reminded me of your stand-up when, you and I met several years ago. All energy, super fun. But where can people get the special? Because people are actually subscribing to your YouTube channel now. So why don't you tell them?
Yo, that's awesome. Thank you so much. As you can see, I'm terrible at trying to get social media following and stuff like that. So thank you for doing that. That's really cool. So about this special, it's called Odyssey. It's on YouTube. My name's Clifford Myers. And I filmed it in 2015 and was just horribly ashamed of it. I didn't like it. This was part of that period. I filmed the special. I was gearing up to make some moves. And then I went crash. I went the other way. Mental health is a thing, apparently. And so, I was like, oh, my God. And so I filmed the special. And then here on the tail end of a divorce, the tail end, of everything that we've all just gone through globally, I think it's so important to not only put yourself out there, but to put, to be okay with letting go of it. If you're not cringing, you're not growing, right? So I'm just okay, I'm cringing at my past self, whatever. I'll probably cringe at this podcast one day. It is what it is. And
no, stop it.
But I'm recording another special in Brantford this August. Yeah. So if you're interested in watching Odyssey, there is another one coming out. And I'm hoping to just keep doing these independent specials so you can just see my growth over time. Mm-hmm. I just like to share that. And I've come to a place where Dean's like, will you fuck off on social media or whatever? I don't know. Maybe, who cares, right? But with comedy, that never leaves. Never leaves. I'll always have my hand on a mic somewhere.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Where is this? Are you at a bus station or something? Where did you do this special?
Yeah, that looks like a basement upstairs or something, right?
Oh,
that was in Hamilton. That was a show that I ran that was very popular for 2 years, and it's actually still going to this day. It survived the pandemic.
It did.
Wow.
That's called strong foundational strategy.
Excellent. Lindsay, that's where you met him, right?
By him while they're going to the shitter.
Cliff was doing some charity work for Johnny Coy and with the likes of Kenny Robinson at a bar in Hamilton where Ashley used to work.
Right.
And I would do the photography for those shows. And that's how I met Cliff. And Cliff was in there 3 or 4 times. We shot the shit a little bit. And I fell in love with him immediately because how could you not, right? So
those charity shows were very fun. It was a hard crowd, actually.
Yeah, it really was.
You had to really earn those laughs. Yeah,
and you guys killed it. You guys killed it every time, and they raised shitloads of money for those charities too, which was it was incredible. So, Cliff on podcast and Cliff on stage are not very dissimilar. But you have to see the show. It's
live.
So
he's incredible. He's one of those comedians that you're like, why isn't this guy fucking enormous? Because he's insane.
He is enormous. He's just not famous yet.
And the thing is, you haven't seen any of my new material yet, right, Dean? And
no. Is it darker than the old shit? Because the old shit was fucking dark.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but the thing is, because how can it not be? Look what we just gone through. Look at the world, the war and everything. How can it not be, right? Yeah. For me, I'm obsessed with death right now, and I don't know if you're trying to ramp me off. You got someone else in the waiting room or whatever.
No. But you're closing the show.
Okay, great. So this is the thing. So I'm on say I want to show no fear. I want to be able to talk about death. I want to be able to talk about this thing. So I'm talking to people about my my grandpa's funeral. Okay, so my grandfather, he died before COVID and all that kind of stuff, and he was absolutely like my comedy kind of, I don't know, like the person who taught me comedy, right? Like a mentor, my Mr. Miyagi, if you will. So he passes away, and I come from an evangelical background, and he's Catholic, right? And this was during I'm like fucking around trying to not relapse and all that kind of shit. And I go to my grandpa's funeral. I'm right in the front row. You know, Gramps is over there, and this priest comes up, and he's like, "Yo, do you want to take part in communion?" Right? And I'm thinking about, like, you know, I've seen on the movies, and you drink like the sacrament wine kind of thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to relapse at my grandpa's funeral. Right? And like, if they're doing the communion with wine.
It's not real wine. It's not real.
But that's the thing. I thought it was, right?
Right.
Because I'm high a lot. So I was probably high that day. But like, I was like, so I go to the priest because I just wanted to make sure, right? And I was like, yo, just checking, like, does this come with wine? Like I'm ordering.
Yeah.
Right. And
what vintage is it?
He gets like really kind of like his back up, and he's like, it does not come with wine. Like, he's like offended, you know? And then like he's like, it doesn't come with wine. And then I'm just like, oh, okay. And then he's like, do you want to take communion or not? And he's like really pressuring me. And are you familiar with like in the Catholic Church, the Eucharist?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Right. And he puts it on his hand. It's like,
paper.
yeah, do you want to take communion or not? He's putting it like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And again, I'm thinking of like the movies and stuff. And you know, in the movies where like the priest will have the wafer and then you go, you know, like.
Yeah. You go eat it.
You bite his hand.
You eat it like, well, like, so he was like right in front of me.
Yeah.
So I was like. My whole family is behind me. I'm slowly sucking a priest's fingers. I'm like, Daddy, what? And like, I'm sucking this guy's fingers, and like. I'm not even looking at the chat. I feel so judged right now. But you people, listen, you have not lived until you've tasted a priest on your terms. So. True story, too. We're gonna face this shit with courage. We're gonna face this shit. We're gonna laugh.
Yeah, we are.
Jokes.
Holy fuck, Cliff. God, it's so great to see you and talk to you again. That is Cliff Myers at Clifford Myers on Twitter. Is that your Twitter handle or is that your Instagram handle?
I'll consider doing the reality thing now. We'll talk.
Okay, please. And if it's the production level things of the show that get you worried, we have.
I don't see a
like
problem with
farm.
production.
I need a better mic apparently, so
Yeah, we can help. We've got a farm of producers that will help you. Just get on there and we'll take care of the rest.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
Jesus.
we're gonna get you set up. If you're good to go, we'll get you set up. We got to move on to some other shit. But I want to set you up. I want to get you some shit. I want you to start podcasting. I don't care what it is, dude. I don't care if it's reality TV, if it's LSD related, if it's a bed bug podcast. I don't care.
So the podcast is me on OnlyFans, right? And and so I'm sitting on an upside down pylon. Yeah. But
Bring that priest.
I will honestly, like, I'm doing my own podcast because I'm in Coburg called Feel Bad Town, but I do want to do a Survivor thing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, well, fuck, Survivor just started again. It's like the 500th season. Let's do it.
They've done so many seasons that they're now just calling them by the numbers. It's like they're calling it Survivor 42.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're doing now.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. You're gonna be our reality TV guy, but you can do whatever you want because I think you're that funny. I think you're that fucking crazy, and I could care less what you do. I just believe in Clifford Myers, just so you know. Still, it's
cool.
never left. I've always believed in you.
Let's keep going then. Thank you so much.
Okay, Clifford Myers at Clifford Myers is where you can find him. Cliff Myers on YouTube.
You a follow.
Yeah,
Clifford.
dude, I follow him too, and make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel. And don't be a stranger, okay? Can you please not do that? Can you please come back? Like, don't disappear for fucking 7 years next time. That'd be great.
Listen, as long as I'm, still here and doing drugs daily, I think we'll be fine.
All right. Talk to you
Fair.
soon, Cliff.
Love you, Cliff.
Thanks,
Peace
buddy.
out.
Take
Peace
care,
out.
pal.
That is Cliff Myers, ladies and gentlemen.
Exhausted.
How about that, eh? Locke, how about that for a little fucking jolt?
Friday.
That was terrifying.
You missed the best joke. You walked away for the best joke that he had about the priest and the sacramental
Sucking
wine.
a priest's fingers, yeah. You haven't lived until you've tasted a priest on your own terms, is, I believe, the punchline. You would have loved it. We have breaking news.
Yeah. What do you got, Locke?
Well, I got from our producer. He sent me this. So I think we should probably
It's on the
talk
screen.
about that. He didn't lose his Oscar.
No. Will
10
Smith
years
has been
though.
banned for 10 years from attending the Oscars or any other Academy event following his slap of Chris Rock at the Academy.
I thought they were
Awards.
going to yank his Oscar away from him.
Now, does that mean he doesn't get an Oscar if he does, like, say he's in a movie and he's like the best actor fucking ever? And
I don't think he's allowed to be nominated.
He won't be
I
nominated.
think that was part of his decision. He is backed himself out. He's in some sort of rehab or something facility right now too. He went in this morning.
Really?
Yeah. Will
But,
Smith?
I mean, it was all fake, right, Bonzi? So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is just all part of it. Lost everything in his entire life. I still can't believe people thought that.
What do you
that
mean?
was
Like he
fake.
did you read that this morning that he went into rehab? Was it like behavioral
Yeah, I
rehab or
don't-
was it rehab?
It's some sort of facility for stress is what they're saying. And it's because I immediately went to I called it because I thought that maybe there was something more going on there, like but there is apparently rehabs for stress. So they made that clear in the announcement. But in the comments, yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with Naked Cheese Whiz. He probably just needs some time away from his wife. I think the best thing in the world for him would be to abandon that relationship because that's clearly an unhealthy situation.
Did you see the video that Dean put out today?
Yeah.
Speaking
I'll play
of
it
his
right
wife?
now. I'll play it right now. Will Smith admitted to this is the headline. You're right, Rock. Sorry, I can't fucking believe I didn't have this. Thank you for telling me about it. Will Smith admitted to luxury rehab clinic after slapping Chris Rock. Luxury rehab clinic, of course. Not. You know how we were all taking a dump on Jada and all the feminazis came out and they're like, "How dare you blame the woman for his mental instability?"
Well, there's something to that. I mean, I think he needs to take ownership for the decisions that he's made in his life, right? Like,
let me play this video.
That's important.
Let me
But
play- you're totally
think
right.
she led him down the path to this. She was part of it, in my opinion.
This is a video. Yeah, totally, dude. I mean, this is a video that Jada put out on her social media. Was it today or yesterday? I think it was.
I don't
like
know
this
when it
morning.
went out. Was this was prior to the Red Table interview, wasn't it? Or right after the Red Table interview?
I don't know, but all I know is the video is very telling. It's Jada. Will looks like he's opening up email or trying to, and she fucking carpet bombs him and makes him like basically treats him like a bag of shit on social media to put this video out just expressly to treat her husband like a piece of shit. Like, watch this video. It's fucking.
Will, you know Esther Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me
Oh my goodness.
if you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Because she don't just.
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start roll. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
Please watch us stare at the red table because she's helped us a lot. Can't you tell?
I would divorce her with a capital D, and now I know why Tupac killed himself.
Wow.
You know what?
No wonder Tupac wanted to die.
You know what? I
He
think
stood in front of that gun.
Yeah,
Can-
he's like,
can
shoot
I-
me, please. Jada's in the back of the car. Fucking kill me.
Do it.
can I
Kill him.
throw something out there?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of unhealthy relationships in the world that we live in, and a lot of unhealthy relationships that last a long time and a lot longer than they should. And I think what ends up happening is, and this is, I think, a product of somebody who clearly, and I'm not giving Will an out here, I'm saying he clearly has added to the dysfunction and is aware enough, self-aware enough to know that he is part of the problem. And when you get into a situation where you're in a dysfunctional relationship, whether it's a relationship where you're married or a work thing or friend or family, you can get caught into these cycles. And that's what that looks like. And no one knows the way out, because there's not a good way out. By the look on their faces.
Look at how fucking defeated he looks. Like,
but he knows he's part of the issue.
Yeah, I know he knows.
Is what I think.
But like, I have watched, and listen, I don't know this man, but from the confident young Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to this like legitimately beaten, asking his wife, please don't record me in my home and use it for your social media because of my home. And she's like, you're foolish. You're an idiot. You're a fucking loser. And doesn't stop. Like,
yeah. And then posts it.
And then he not only posts it, but uses it to promote her stupid fucking Red Table show, where all she does is create drama and then succeed that drama to her show and then talk about said drama.
He needs to get. They both need to get
he
out
needs
of that
to fucking
relationship.
split. She is fucking awful.
She should be in a rehab right
if
next
I
to him.
was with, and listen, if I was with someone like this, that I'm standing there in my home and I'm doing some private business, which it looks he's just fucking reading, and she basically assaults him with the phone. Like, if think about this in terms of strangers. Let's just say a stranger walked up to Will Smith and started doing that. He'd punch him out.
Yep.
Dude, he slapped Chris Rock in the face for talking poorly about someone. If a stranger walked up to Will Smith and said, hey, I'm going to bug you with my phone, I'm going to record you, I'm going to piss you off, and I'm going to treat you like shit for a couple seconds here so I could get like a really cool viral clip, he would fucking knock them out. I would expect him to, right?
That's the difference. He smacked that paparazzi at the Cannes Film Festival that one time, trying to even, and the guy was just trying to be friendly.
They both got issues. No one's off the hook here. I realize, like, there's a lot. I find it difficult to have the conversation about how much of a cunt she is, even if she is, because I think he's obviously the codependent in that relationship, and he is.
Well, he won't leave.
He's caused all of it. The two of them and that dysfunction, they have ruined each other's lives. Like, do you think Jada's gonna get anything out of this? No, it's not.
I was gonna say he's the emotional codependent. You're absolutely correct, but she's definitely the financial codependent in that setup.
She's nothing without his money. Watch this, dude. Everything she has, she's gotten from being married to Will Smith. Watch this again. Watch it.
Oh, it's so hard to watch. Look at him grab his hand. Look at that body language. Look at him grab his arm.
Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
If you could film me.
Astaire, come help us again, please.
You know what she wants? She wants someone to tell her that she's right and she's allowed to bully her husband.
I'm still dealing with foolishness.
No, because she don't just.
Look at that body.
Would you say that she?
It's like a defensive posture that he's taking here, right? Like, look at this defensive posture that he's. Yeah, dude.
But you know,
like,
that's
he's not
also,
interested in having this conversation. He's like, please stop, get away from me, leave me alone.
No, because she don't just.
That face. He's done.
Would you say
he's done shit too?
Yeah. Oh, come on, man.
You think he's got some part in this? Look at his face.
He's codependent, but he's. Yeah.
So we're in Tiger Red too. It's good. Weekend of the Masters.
Good timing, Will.
There. Oh wait, fuck! Now you said that, Bonds is going to think this is some sort of fucking conspiracy.
Probably. Yeah.
Honestly, man, I again, listen, they're both fucking idiots. They stayed together.
I'll give you that.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
You know why he's an idiot? I'll tell you why he's an idiot.
He's
and
an
I've been in
idiot.
the situation
He's a
like
fucking idiot.
this before, where you're with someone who's so toxic, and he's probably toxic too. We only see her toxicity, right? Like we watched his toxicity at the Oscars. He watched up, slapped a guy in the face, gets banned from the Oscars for 10 years. That is the news today. 10 years.
Lost every gig.
Banned. He'll be 65. He'll be 65 before he's allowed to actually set foot at the Oscars again. So he's effectively ruined his life. All of his projects have been canceled. And that's, you know why? Because his mind is mush. And the reason why his mind is mush is he lives in a toxic relationship with a toxic person. And all he can think about is, oh my God, if I leave, it's going to get much worse. The press will get worse. Everybody's going to talk. All the shit that people say and do when divorces happen. That's what that face is. That's like, oh my God, I cannot fucking be here anymore. I cannot stand this crazy person I'm living with. And I need to get the fuck out, but I can't, because getting out is going to come with this incredible crush of press that I can't deal with. So what does he do? Goes to rehab today. And fucking good for him.
Yep.
Good for him. He should. He needs perspective. Yeah. Everybody should that's in that situation. But holy shit. Like, just the fuck. This brought me back to so many times where you're like,
you were there?
Talk to you about this. Yeah.
So, Will,
oh my God, that look. Oh,
that
fuck.
breath. That big breath he just took. Grab his face.
Everything.
Long looking.
Watch how defensive he gets.
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
He's trying to think of all of the tools that he's been given in his counseling sessions to deal with, to communicate properly with his wife.
Would you say
Great
that
point.
she helped us heal?
Yeah. Yeah, he's trying to reach deep for, like, can I just remember?
Kathleen, oh my God, I hate her. That's the problem. In this situation, it is so easy to, and again, I'm not giving her any rope here at all.
Yeah.
But because she's clearly a fucking problem. Like, that's a fucking problem.
Two-way street. You're right.
But that fucking man he needs to own up to his shit. That fucking man right there needs to own up for staying, for not being a man. Like, there's like, I feel bad because I kind of liked him before I knew all this about him. Like, I kind of had a sense that he was a decent guy, or, and I've been wrong before. But
plays a good one on TV, that's for sure.
Yeah, I like his characters. I like his movies. I like kind of the underdog thing that he plays. Like, he never really got credit for one of my favorite movies of all time is that Pursuit of Happiness. I fucking loved that movie. It was such a
great fucking movie.
Probably one of the best rags to riches stories, and it's a true story too, right? And I think I took that character away from that movie and attached it to him. So when I watched him walk up and whack Chris Rock, who I also love, I was immediately in this defensive position for him, going, what? Why did he do that? Why? Like, no. There's a reason here. Something's wrong. Man, I'll say this. Anybody that had a good run in their 20s and 30s with chemicals, they pay for it in their 40s and 50s, man. They pay for it.
You really think he was on something?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
He's got a drinking problem. That much I know. And he's got a self-admitted drinking problem. I don't know about the other shit, but I know that Will Smith has a drinking problem. And as someone who was very unhappy in a fucking totally toxic environment and relationship, that's how the drinking problems come. Because you got to go home, right? When you're home, what can you do to phase out?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it could be a combination of things. It could be a bunch of different stuff, but that is not a healthy way to treat your spouse. And listen, as someone who's happily single, that's the kind of stuff that you're like, how the fuck do you allow that? And not from like a machismo perspective, but like as an individual, how do you allow someone to use you like that? Because that's what she's doing, right? I mean, she just has spent like the last 20 years being married to the guy, leeching off him, building her brand, and now she's got this stupid fucking YouTube show. Like, that's really all he is to her. That's it.
You think
She
it's
was great in The
resentment? Do you think she resents him and his success?
For sure, because he's been legitimately successful. She never has been. She's just been weirdo successful, like, and attached to him. And this isn't a misogyny play. If the shoe was on the other foot, I'd say the same fucking
the same thing. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So this is about a woman who is like, fuck. What is Jada Pinkett Smith famous for? Nothing. Being married to him. That's it. And she knows it, but she's got that fucking guy wrapped around her finger, and anything he says or does, she will challenge him, and she will use as an opportunity to treat him like shit, because she is legitimately a totally crazy Scientologist narcissist fuck. That's exactly what she is. And his issues are the same. He's just not narcissistic. At least it doesn't seem like it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say
some tendencies.
To your point about if the shoe was on the other foot, it usually manifests in physical violence from the man to the woman that's successful.
I bet she beats him.
But I bet she
beats him.
I bet you it's just not. That wasn't a successful route. So she trashes his soul instead of actually assaults him physically.
I think she beats him.
I think that's the way of her asserting some sort of control just by the look of that video.
Yeah,
I said something on the air yesterday that got us in trouble, and it was about that. We got a handful of complaints. I'll repeat it here because I enjoy doing that to myself. There's a woman in the States being tried for murdering her husband, who wrote a book. She's a self-published romance author. She wrote a book called How to Kill Your Husband. And the story was the judge wasn't going to let the prosecutors use the manuscript in the court case, saying it didn't apply to this situation. And I'm like, what? She wrote a book on how to kill your husband, then killed him. And the judge isn't letting them use the book as evidence. What? Anyway, here's the thing with women. And again, I think most people know that if they've been in a relationship.
Careful, because you just started with, here's the thing with women. Careful, just putting it out there.
He already did the birth control thing this week. Let him go.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
All right. So, and I love my wife and I love my daughters, but they're planners. Okay. So what they do is, from a very early age, they start setting up their life. They have an ideal man. They have a house. The wedding is planned for you. When you show up with a ring, your job's done, dude. She knows the dress she wants. She knows the venue. She knows the playlist. She knows what we're eating. She knows the flowers. I truly believe that women also plan our deaths and our demise. And may even encourage it through certain techniques through the course of a relationship. Some may go as far as poisoning.
That's the dumbest fucking
and then
shit I
some
ever
go
heard
as far as just psychological abuse to get Will Smith to a point where he needs.
That's true. That's true. That's what's happening. I'm not saying that happens in general, like Lachlan's saying. I'm not saying that happens in every relationship, like Lachlan's suggesting. What I'm saying is that is happening here. And to your point about the woman who wrote the book, How to Kill Your Husband, who actually killed her husband, she's a real looker.
Oh, baby.
She looks like someone filled her jowls with marshmallows and then lit her on fire. Like, it's just, what is she killing her husband for? What is she? Who's she gonna grab in an alley and make?
She ate the marshmallows.
And who's she forcing into giving her oral? That's what I want to know. Like, why the fuck does she kill her husband?
He probably offed himself.
You know what that's like? That's like being starving, someone giving you a sub from Subway and them going, I'm going to wait for something else, and you throw it in the fucking ditch. That's what this woman did.
She's a human Subway.
She's you know what she looks like to me? Human suffering.
I like Subway.
She looks like, if human suffering had a face, it would be this woman.
Who would play her in the movie they're going to write?
Oh, Jada
Pinkett Smith.
Kathy Bates.
Kathy. She plays all the psychos.
Anyway. Great show today, boys. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, this was great.
Great
way to end the week.
Clifford back.
Absolutely.
Well, one of the things that I thought as I was listening to Cliff is like, fuck, am I glad I didn't have to prep a lot today?
Right? Rod takes care of himself,
Yeah.
and Cliff is just a
We mailed it
content
in.
factory.
Dude,
It
we
was.
fucking
This is the
mailed
laziest
it
fucking
in.
It's
Yeah.
great. The
Yeah, I
most
got-
research you did was Jada Pinkett Smith.
That's it.
I had
That's
no
all I
idea
did.
what to say when Clifford was on.
Well, no, you wrote him out great because, like, first time I met him, that was me too. I was like this.
Yeah.
What are you? What are you
What's
doing?
going on here?
What's
Do you
what's
know
up
what
in your head?
Do you know what I liken him to the first time I watched Napoleon Dynamite. I thought it was fucking dumb and this was stupid. And then the second time I watched it, I couldn't get enough. That's Clifford
Yeah.
to me.
Oh yeah, Cliff's.
That'll be you
He's
too,
an
Lachlan,
acquired
you'll
taste,
see.
but you'll love him. Yeah, guaranteed.
I can see myself warming up to him. I just there was too many things. They were just coming at me like he was like kept throwing like these softballs out there.
I've never seen
then-
you so quiet. I need him around more
Well-
so you stop cutting me off. It's great.
That's true.
Listen, Linz, I was drunk yesterday during the show. So, I mean, that's not an excuse, but if you're looking for a reason,
No.
Lay it on that
I
one.
started drinking at like 10 o'clock in the morning yesterday.
Oh,
I
as
don't know
one
what
does.
You
And
need a
I'm
luxury
on
rehab
cold
like Will Smith.
medication and I don't know what's
Oh,
going on with me.
Fuck, dude, getting drunk on cold medication. Listen,
awesome.
kids, don't
freebies.
do it. It's awesome.
Dewey
Kids,
Cox, don't do
It's
this.
terrific.
Dewey Cox, don't
it's
touch
the-
it.
Best.
But thanks for
you
doing
get
this, guys.
so stoned.
Yeah, and drunk at the same time. It's like a fucking miracle, really. Yeah. It's all terrible for you, too. Don't do it on a regular basis. But if you do have a cold and want to tie one on, it's awesome. That's all
Neocitrin
I'm
and
saying.
cold meds and
Yep.
booze. Terrible
Heads
idea.
up. Get an
Terrible
edible in you.
idea.
You
Fucking
sleep
see
for
you
like
later.
12 hours, too.
Yeah,
it's the
it's
best
incredible.
sleep you'll ever have.
So
Yeah.
with that drug addiction information that we passed to you today, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you. That
Good
is
luck,
Lachlan
Will.
Cross,
See you.
95.7.
Thanks for coming on the show today,
Well,
buddy.
yeah.
Cruise FM in
We're
Edmonton.
praying for you.
Thanks to
He's
Will
live
Smith.
right now.
Yeah. And Jada.
And
for
remember
coming on
what
the
I
show.
said today. Your wives and girlfriends are planning your death. They've got
They're
it
not.
all worked out.
They're not.
My wife is. I bet
Well-
she's got a book somewhere under the mattress. I'll
Just-
find it one day.
Different guys she's going to ding after you go.
There'll be a list of things, and it's all taken care of.
What's it, honey? My coffee tastes like Drano again today. I'm so tired.
Don't worry about it.
So
Just put a little more. Just put a little more Jameson in it.
Why are my
honey.
eyes bleeding?
Honey, I went to the doctor. He said my insides are melting, and I've got a super high, like a bunch of Drano in my blood. No, you don't.
You
No,
know
you
anything
don't.
about this?
You're good.
don't. No, you don't. Well, my ear's leaking now too. Don't you worry about that at all.
You're
Quick,
handsome.
quick reminder to everybody too. Please go and buy some of these shirts. That'd be great. We've got the goat hoodie. Austin Matthews, now the greatest of all time in Leaf history. Go to DeanBlundell.com and order that bad boy. There's a hat there too that looks absolutely fucking stellar. We've got a couple of t-shirts. Of course, the Go Fuck Yourself merch is selling like hotcakes, by the way.
It
The Go
actually
Fuck Yourself
is.
cups, the Go Fuck Yourself shirts. I cannot believe it. We got the Wahhappen shirts with Fred Willard. You got the hoodies, the taco and wine. But the merch store is open, DeanBlundell.com, front page, drop-down menu. Just hit shop, and you're going to be able to shop. And what we'd love you to do before we go anywhere is we'd love for you to donate. You've got a little tick there. You can donate and give a gift to Alex in Ukraine. He's going to help people in bomb shelters. Slava Ukraine is a shirt you can buy in support of Ukraine. And Alex, who's going to be on the show again on Monday or Tuesday, might do both. And we're excited to have him.
Dean, I got Alex Monday, and I don't want to talk about this on the locker room. I'd rather talk about
Ukraine. Yeah.
the Ukraine, the shirt and the charity drive on the podcast. So I'm going to interview him quickly because I need people on the locker room that don't listen to the podcast or watch the podcast to understand who he is, because I think it's important. And I think it's interesting that we found a way to get money like directly to the Ukraine. But I need people to have a hands-on, like, and understand who he is and why he's doing what he's doing. So we're going to chat Monday. And then if we bring him on next week on the pod, then we can tell him about the charity drive. Okay.
Yeah, no, he knows about
That's
it.
cool.
We'll just give him the details.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Lots of
Okay.
people in the chat today were saying that they've already received some of their merch. So I was going to ask if you have got it. I want a picture. Like, tag me in Twitter. Take a picture of you with your stuff
Yeah.
on, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
We'll put it out on the socials. Show people your shirts and stuff, and we'll do that as well. And
Fuck,
Yeah.
we sold like 10 of those Ukraine shirts today.
yeah, let's get
Like,
let's
like,
get 'em- Moving.
I'm just absolutely shocked. I had no idea we were going to have this kind of impact with this stuff. So, yeah.
That's because people are good. I mean,
awesome.
you put it there, and good people will do what good people do, right? They rally around a great cause. Alex,
really
what's
is.
going on in Ukraine is a great cause. So keep him in your mind this weekend. Alex will be on Lachlan Show, 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton on Monday. So listen for that. You can follow Lachlan on Twitter at Lachlan Cross as well. Ryan Lindley, his Sheeple Shepherd podcast. You can get anywhere you get your fine podcast, Google, Spotify, Apple, and YouTube as well is where you can find us. Dean Blundell Show on YouTube. At It's Dean Blundell Show on Twitter. Google us. You'll be able to follow us. Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, all those things. So we really appreciate you doing that. But listen to Lachlan Show on Monday. Monday morning, you're going to be putting out a tweet, I would imagine, too.
About Al. Yeah.
So
We're doing a Zoom thing with them, too. So we're going to record it early, and then we'll have a chunk of it on the show for sure. And,
Locker Room TV as well, or
Locker Room TV on the YouTube page and all that shit, too.
Awesome. Thanks for doing this, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great weekend, boys.
It was fucking good seeing you guys today, man. Thank you.
You too, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was fun.
Love
Thanks,
you guys.
Brian. Love you too. Thanks, Linz. Thanks, Will. See you later. Can you believe that guy? Will Smith? Poor fucker. What a poor fucker. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Thanks for the week. We had a good one. We're back next week. Really busy week next week as well. I think every day is booked solid so far. Like solid. We're going to have Ray back. Scott Trades is going to be back as well. I pooched him out of today and yesterday. He was supposed to join us yesterday and we didn't see him. He was supposed to join us today. Max Fawcett is going to join us as well from the National Observer. Pete Zedlacker is going to be part of the program. Sirius XM's best comic. And he's currently on tour as well with the Snowden comedy tour. Great guy. He'll be in Calgary for the week, so he's going to jump in with us as well. But have a wonderful day, everybody. Really appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend. Be good to your family. Be good to yourself. Think about others before you think about yourself. It's traditionally the best way to live. It's hard. It's hard. And if you're worried about these COVID numbers, I know we haven't talked about COVID very much because I could not physically talk about it anymore, to be honest with you. It was just fucking enough. I had enough. But if you're not wearing a mask, probably going to get sick. It's probably going to suck. We're going to see big upticks in COVID. We're going to talk about that hopefully next week with Imgren as well. But just take care of yourself. Don't be an asshole out in public. Be kind to people when you need to. Push back when you have to. But fucking just worry about you. Don't worry about anybody else. And if someone else wants to worry about you, you know what to do. Just tell them to go fuck yourself. Super simple to do. Have a great day. We'll see you next week and enjoy the weekend. Again, really appreciate everybody being here. Thanks to our friends and sponsors at Easy Auto Financial for making this possible. Go to easyautofinancial.ca today to get some financing for free for your car. If you have a car, need a car, want a car, these guys do everything when it comes to financing, and it's absolutely free of charge. No obligation either. easyautofinancial.ca. Also, Ed's Fine Imports, his Getch are on us. They can be on you too. Luxury branded underwear, boxer briefs, got the pouch in the front, you got the sack in the front, all your stuff goes in the front, and then your bum and your legs go in the other parts, right? But dude, the most comfortable underwear you'll ever buy. Gitch, GITCH3 is your promo code. edsfineimports.com. Order some today. Good Canadian guy, wonderful Canadian brand, and support local. It's what you should be doing after a pandemic. Duh. And last but not least, of course, our friends at Domination. Dominate your content with domination.com. Use Domination for your promos. Super easy to do and produce when you use them. Like one file, you get 72 pieces of content. Makes your life so much easier. You'll save 1 billion hours. And you can try them for free by going to dmntn.com. Again, dmntn.com. Dominate with content and your content by using domination.com. Have a great day. Thanks to Rod Black for joining us. Thanks to Cliff Myers. Thank you for being part of the show as well, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye.